Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and we finally made it to the end of the year 2023. So for today's video, we're going to be having a countdown of my top 10 favorite battles of the year. So enjoy everyone, and have a happy new year. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Virizion side, we've got Virizion EX as the active Pokemon, and on the Team Plasma side, we've got Thundurus EX as the active Pokemon. The Plasma side is going first, benching Deoxys EX, and then using Skyla as her first supporter to search for Team Plasma Ball, which then searches out a second Deoxys onto the bench. Deoxys has the ability called Power Connect, increasing the attack power of all Team Plasma Pokemon by 10 each. A Prism Energy is equipped to the Thundurus, and there's the pass of the turn. Over to the Virizion side, the player equips a Grass Energy to their active Virizion, and then activates N as their supporter for the turn. Both players now have to shuffle their hands away and draw one card for each of the remaining prizes, so 6 cards apiece. As no prizes have been taken yet, let's see if we have any more cards coming down for that side. Yes, we do see a Genesect coming down onto the bench, and that's going to be it. Turn passes back over to Plasma. Player equips a Muscle Band onto Thundurus, increasing its attack power by another 20 points. And then they're going to be playing their own N, once again shuffling and drawing 6 cards for each player. So now this Thundurus is going to be able to hit for 70 damage with its right-in knuckle attack. Yeah, there's the attack. Hitting for 70, like I said. And turn passes over to the Virizion side. Really quick turns going around. A second Grass Energy comes down into Virizion. And now their supporter is going to be Skyla, searching the deck for any trainer card to add to their hand. And the one chosen is going to be a Muscle Band, which is immediately equipped onto the bench Genesect. There's a deck coming back down. A second Virizion comes down onto the bench, and the attack is declared Emerald Slash, hitting Thundurus for 50 damage, but also attaching 2 Grass Energies from the deck to any Pokemon on their side. And the energy is coming down onto the bench Genesect, and now it just needs one more energy to start using its Megalo Cannon attack. Okay, over to Team Plasma side. Latios EX comes down onto the bench. Latios gets its own Muscle Band. And the supporter is going to be Professor Sycamore to discard the entire hand and then draw 7 brand new cards. Let's see if there's going to be any more cards being played. Yes, we do see a Prism Energy coming down into Latios. Prism Energy is basically a Rainbow Energy, but it can only be equipped to basic Pokemon. And there's the attack Right-in Knuckle, once again hitting for 70 damage. Right-in Knuckle also has the ability to equip a discarded energy card onto any Pokemon on their bench. So we see a Rainbow Energy coming down into the Latios. And now on the Virizion side, the player activates Town Map as their item, flipping over all 6 of their prizes face up for the remainder of the game. So now we see a couple of their prizes. Looks like there's an Ultra Ball and a Colress Machine. And now the stadium is activated Sky Arrow Bridge, giving all basic Pokemon a retreat cost of -1, so Virizion can retreat for free, promoting Genesect as a new active Pokemon. Next we see an energy switch, moving one of the Grass Energies off of Virizion onto Genesect, and now it is fully powered up and ready to start attacking. But first, here we see Tool Scrapper, discarding both Muscle Bands on the Plasma side. And there's the attack, Megalo Cannon, hitting Thundurus for 120 damage for the knockout, and 20 damage onto one of the bench Deoxys. And here we see Genesect taking another Sky Arrow Bridge and a G-Booster from their prizes. So they've taken 2 prizes so far and have taken the early lead. On the Plasma side, Latios comes up as a new active Pokemon. It gets another Muscle Band, and a player benches a Kyurem onto the bench. A third Rainbow Energy comes down into Latios, giving it 10 damage, and now the player activates another Professor Sycamore. And now we're going to be seeing Latios attack with its Barrier Break attack, and also comes with the ability called Bright Down, preventing all damage from coming down onto Latios from any Pokemon with abilities, meaning that Genesect and Virizion cannot hit this Latios. It's going to be a really good stall card for the Plasma side. A Colress Machine was played, attaching a Plasma Energy from the deck onto the benched Kyurem, and a second Kyurem comes down. And there's the attack. Barrier Break, hitting for 90 damage, as Muscle Band does increase the attack power by 20. And, oh, there we see a Tool Scrapper, getting rid of both muscle bands, so one from the plasma side and also its own muscle band. And now that the Genesect no longer has a tool, it can finally get its G-Booster. It's an A-Spec card. A-Spec trainers can only be played one in a deck because they're so strong. And what this card does is that it gives Genesect a brand new attack called G-Booster. It hits for 200 damage, and it does not get stopped by anything, so Latios's ability could not block this attack, meaning that Genesect took another 2 prizes for the Virizion side. Though the attack also requires it to discard 2 grass energies from itself. Okay, on the Plasma side, Kyurem comes up as the new active Pokemon, but the one without the energy, and the player activates Tropical Beach as their stadium to get rid of the Sky Arrow Bridge. A Plasma energy is equipped to the Kyurem, and there's going to be no attack coming through. The player activates the effect of Tropical Beach, drawing until they have 7 cards in hand, but it also ends their turn. On the Virizion side, the player activates Colress Machine, searching the deck for a Plasma energy to equip onto Genesect, and there it is. They just need 1 more Grass energy to start attacking again, which they should have. I believe I saw them get it from their prizes. Okay, there's a Sky Arrow Bridge coming back down, getting rid of the Tropical Beach, and yes, there is a second Grass energy coming down. So Genesect can use its G-Booster attack once again. There's the attack. Actually, this time it went for Megalo Cannon, hitting Kyurem for 100 damage and hitting the benched one for 20 damage, getting some damage spread around. On the Plasma side, the player activates N. Once again, both players shuffle away their hands, but this time Virizion only gets to draw 2 cards, as they're down to 2 prizes, while Plasma gets to draw all 6, as they have not drawn any prizes yet. They really got to get back into this game. A Team Plasma Ball is played to search the deck for any Team Plasma Pokemon. And the one chosen is going to be another Deoxys, though they cannot play it down to their bench just yet, as their bench is full. Switch is played, getting the active Kyurem out of the active spot to promote their benched one. And there's still no attack coming through. They must have not gotten any energy to use. Oh, that hurts to see. They're going to be falling really behind if they don't get any attacks through. That's 2 turns in a row with no attacks. Okay, on the Virizion side, the player attached a Grass energy to their fresh Virizion, and they're playing the supporter, Professor Sycamore, to discard their hand and draw 7 brand new cards. And there's the attack, Megalo Cannon, hitting the active Kyurem for 100 damage, and hitting the benched one for 20. So both Kyurem are down to just 10 HP remaining. It's not looking good for them. The Genesect player can either knock out both Kyurem on the following turn to take the last 2 prizes, or if the Team Plasma side brings up one of their EX Pokemon, Genesect can just knock it out in one hit with its G-Booster attack, once again to take 2 prizes, so yeah, it's not looking very good for the Team Plasma side right now. Oh, but they have exactly what they need. Max Potion completely heals all the damage off of the benched Kyurem, meaning that Genesect can only take 1 prize this turn if they knock out this active Kyurem. The player attaches a Prism Energy onto it to hit with Frost Spear, hitting Genesect for 60 damage, but more importantly, hitting the benched Virizion for 30 damage, and finally knocking it out and taking the first 2 prizes. Okay, on the Virizion side, they didn't play any cards, going straight for the attack. Megalo Cannon, taking a knockout against Kyurem, so the Virizion side is down to their last prize, while Team Plasma still has 4 more prizes to go. Let's see what they can do. Thundurus comes up as a new active Pokemon. The player equips a Rainbow Energy onto it, giving it 10 damage. And there's the attack, Raiden Knuckle, hitting for 60 damage and taking the KO against Genesect. And more importantly, taking 2 more prizes. It looks like Team Plasma is getting back into this game. The Raiden Knuckle also equipped a discarded Prism Energy onto the benched Kyurem. And now over to the Virizion side. Virizion comes up as a new active Pokemon. The player activates Professor's Letter to search the deck for a basic Grass energy to add to their hand. And there's the attachment. Now Virizion can start attacking, though it can only hit for 50 damage. It's not going to be taking any KOs anytime soon. But we do see another Genesect coming down. There's the Emerald Slash, hitting for 50 damage. And 2 Grass energies from the deck come down onto the bench Genesect. So the Virizion side is looking to power up 1 more Genesect to close out this game with their Megalo Cannon attack. On the Team Plasma side, let's see what they can do. Playing Colress Machine to search their deck for a Team Plasma energy. There it is, being equipped to the benched Kyurem. Kyurem just needs one more energy to use its second attack, Blizzard Burn. It's a pretty powerful attack, hitting for 120 base damage. Oh, and they got exactly what they needed off of that one. Scramble Switch, getting Thundurus out of the active spot, but moving the energy from Thundurus onto Kyurem, and now Kyurem is fully powered up. Here we see an Ultra Ball, discarding 2 cards from the hand to search the deck for any Pokemon, and the one chosen is going to be the 4th Deoxys. So Kyurem's attacks are going to be boosted by 40 attack points. Though it's still not going to be able to take a knockout against this Virizion, as Virizion does have a resistance against water Pokemon. There's the attack. It looks like it was a Frost Spear, hitting the active Virizion for 50 damage and hitting the bench Genesect for only 30 damage. Trying to line up their math for the following turn, so no matter what comes up on the following turn, Kyurem can knock it out with Blizzard Burn, and now it's looking really likely that Team Plasma is going to take this game. But let's see what the Virizion side can do. Ultra Ball searches out a Jirachi. Jirachi to search out any supporter. It's going to be Professor Sycamore to draw 7 cards. The Virizion side just needs to draw 1 Plasma Energy to activate Genesect's ability. Genesect's ability can bring up the damaged Thundurus and knock it out. So if they get a Plasma Energy off these 7 cards, they will win this game. Did they get it? Let's see. No, they didn't. It's an Enhanced Hammer, discarding a Rainbow Energy from Kyurem. What else do they have? An Ultra Ball, discarding 2 cards from the hand to search the deck for... What Pokemon are they going to choose? Oh, that's gotta hurt. They didn't get that Plasma Energy. They could have finished out this game this turn. But it looks like they're hoping to stall out the game, because with only 2 energy, Kyurem cannot use its Blizzard Burn attack. There's the attack Emerald Slash, hitting for 50 damage. And if the Plasma side doesn't have an energy to equip onto Kyurem, they might lose in the following turn. Okay, they have a Colress, shuffling away their hand to draw 1 card for each benched Pokemon in play. So it's going to be 8 cards. They just need 1 energy onto this Kyurem to win the game. Did they get it? Yes, they did. A Prism Energy comes down to the Kyurem to use Blizzard Burn to take the final KO and take the final 2 prizes. There we go. They made quite the comeback. And there's the handshake. Team Plasma is your winner. And here we go. The battle has started with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Magmortar side, we've got Eevee as the active Pokemon with the Baltoy on the bench. And on the Gardevoir side, we've got Ralts as the active Pokemon. The Gardevoir side is going first, attaching a Call Energy and using its effect to search the deck for another Ralts and a Baltoy to put onto their own bench. Although once they use that effect, it automatically ends their turn. So now turn passes over to the Magmortar side. The player activates his Border Castaway, searching the deck for a basic energy, a tool, and a supporter to add to their hand. And the cards chosen are going to be a Grass Energy, a Cessation Crystal, and Celio's Network. So we've got a couple of cards added to the player's hand. There's the energy attachment, the Grass Energy coming down to the Eevee. And there's the attack, Call for Family. Searching the deck for another Eevee to put onto the bench. There it is. So now we've got 2 Eevee on the Magmortar side, ready to start evolving on the following turn. Okay, over to the Gardevoir side. Baltoy evolves into Claydol. And Claydol activates Cosmic Power. The player can put up to 2 cards from their hand to the bottom of the deck, and then they can draw until they have 6 cards in hand. One of the best draw abilities in the game. Now the player activates Celio's Network, searching the deck for any Pokemon to add to their hand. And the one chosen is going to be a Gardevoir. So if the player has a rare candy in hand, Ralts can evolve this turn. Yeah, they do have a rare candy. Ralts can now skip the middle stage, evolving straight into Gardevoir, and Gardevoir activates Telepass, using one of the supporters from their opponent's discard pile as one of their own. And they use it to search for a Celio's Network and a Psychic Energy. That's going to be it. The Gardevoir deck does not run any Pokemon tools to be searched out. Okay, there we see the Psychic Energy coming down to the active Gardevoir. And that's going to be the turn. Gardevoir needs 1 more energy to start attacking. Okay, on the Magmortar side, Baltoy evolves into Claydol as well, and the player activates Energy Removal 2. There's a coin flip, and it is heads. Alright. discarding the Psychic Energy off of the Gardevoir, bringing it back a turn. And now the support is going to be Celios Network, searching the deck for any Pokemon. And the one chosen is going to be Leafeon to evolve the active Eevee. Okay, next we see Claydol activating its own Cosmic Power. Letting the player draw until they have 6 cards in hand. Like I said, it's going to be one of the best draw abilities in this game. And now the player attaches a Cessation Crystal to the active Leafeon, completely shutting off all Poke Powers and Poke Bodies in play. And there's the attack, Bind Down, hitting for 30 damage, and now Gardevoir cannot retreat. On the Gardevoir side, the player has a double Rainbow Energy to use, so Gardevoir is fully powered up, though its attacks are going to be doing 10 less damage. The player uses Celios Network to search for a Kirlia to evolve their benched Ralts. Though unfortunately, the player will not be able to use either Telepass or Cosmic Power because of the Cessation Crystal. And there's the attack, Psychic Lock, hitting for 50 damage. And now the Magmortar player cannot use any Poke Powers because of the Psychic Lock attack. The benched Eevee evolves into a second Leafeon, and the player activates Roseanne's Research, searching the deck for up to 2 Basic Energy or Basic Pokemon. So here we see a Fire Energy, and a Magmar coming into the hand. This Magmar is going to be the main attacker once it evolves into Magmortar. There's Magmar with the Fire Energy coming down. And there's the attack, another Bind Down, hitting for 30 more damage. And turn passes over to Gardevoir once again. The Gardevoir player activates their own Roseanne's Research, searching the deck for, let's take a look, their own Basic Energy, a Psychic Energy, and a Chatot. Chatot is good in this deck as it does have a free retreat cost, letting it out as a pivot between turns. Plus it has a pretty decent attack. The Psychic Energy comes down to the benched Kirlia, and there's the attack, Psychic Lock, knocking out Leafeon, taking the first prize of the game, and maintaining that Poke Power lock on the Magmortar side. Okay, Magmar comes up as the new active Pokemon, and the player activates Steven's Advice, drawing 1 card for each of the opponent's Pokemon in play, so it's a total of 4. Do they have the Magmortar? Not yet, but they do have a Crystal Beach. Oh yeah, they do have the Magmortar in hand. Comes into play. And they have a second Cessation Crystal. Once again, shutting off all Poke Powers and Poke Bodies in play. And the Crystal Beach also shuts off the ability of the double Rainbow Energy. So instead of providing 2 Rainbow Energies, it now provides a single colorless energy, though it immediately gets discarded with the new stadium, Lake Boundary. And now the Gardevoir player activates Warp Point, forcing both players to switch out their active Pokemon. So Claydol comes up active for the Magmortar side, and Chatot comes up active for the Gardevoir side, which immediately retreats back into Gardevoir. And now because Cessation Crystal is no longer in the active spot, the player can now use their Poke Powers once again. So there we see Cosmic Power, drawing some more cards out of the deck. And now Gardevoir activates Telepass, using the opponent's Steven's Advice to draw 3 more cards from the deck. A lot of draw power coming from the Gardevoir side. A second Psychic Energy comes down to the benched Kirlia. And now the player activates their own supporter, BB Search, putting a card from their hand to the top of the deck and searching the deck for any Pokemon they want. And the one chosen is going to be a second Gardevoir. Now they've got 2 in play. Though unfortunately only 1 Telepass can be used per turn. There's the attack, Psychic Lock, hitting Claydol for 50 damage. And turn passes back over to Magmortar's side. Player benches a second Baltoy and then activates another Roseanne's Research, searching for 2 more Basic Energy or Basic Pokemon. So there we see another Fire Energy. And a Grass Energy that time. The player's going to be trying to get either Leafeon or Magmortar ready to start attacking on a future turn. There we see the second Fire Energy coming down to the benched Magmortar, so it looks like the player might be sacrificing this Claydol. Yeah, there's no way to get it out of the active spot, so it will be getting knocked out. On the Gardevoir side, the player activates Cosmic Power once again. There's some cards going to the bottom of the deck, drawing until they have 6. And there's Telepass. Telepass copies Steven's advice to draw 4 more cards out of the deck. And remember, they still have access to their own supporter for the turn. A Call Energy is equipped to the benched Gardevoir, and the player activates a second BB Search. Let's see what they get this time. They add Gardevoir level X to their hand this time. So we might be seeing this active Gardevoir leveling up. Yep, and that's exactly what's going to be happening. This Gardevoir now has more HP and a new attack. It is going to be using its Poke Power to get itself out of the active spot, as it was pretty heavily damaged. And now the new Gardevoir is ready to start attacking, and there's the attack Psychic Lock, this time hitting for a full 60 damage, taking a KO, and that's 2 prizes taken by the Gardevoir side. Magmortar comes back into the active spot, and let's see what the player can do. Another Steven's advice is played, drawing 4 more cards out of the deck. And another Crystal Beach comes into play, although it doesn't have any effect on the current active Gardevoir, as it doesn't have any double rainbow energies. Another Magmar was put onto the bench, and a Fire Energy was put onto Magmortar, so now it can use either one of its 2 attacks. And then we see the item Premier Ball, searching the deck for any level X Pokemon, getting Magmortar level X into play. Now this Magmortar also has additional HP and a brand new attack to start using, although it does need 4 energy to use its new attack. So let's see which attack is going to be used this turn. And it's going to be the Fireball Bazooka, hitting the active Gardevoir for 40 damage, and the benched Gardevoir along with a Chatot for 20 damage apiece. It's a good attack to spread damage on the opponent's side. Okay, on the Gardevoir side, the player activates Windstorm, once again getting rid of the Crystal Beach and Cessation Crystal. So they are no longer locked out of their Poke Powers. Oh, it looks like they're not going to be using any. Going straight for the attack, Psychic Lock. Because I believe they have more than 6 cards in hand, so the Cosmic Power wouldn't have done anything. Okay, on the Magmortar side, the player activates Team Galactic's Wager. Both players play a game of Paper, Scissor, Rock. The Magmortar side wins. So now both players are going to be shuffling away their hands. The Magmortar player gets to draw 6 cards, while the Gardevoir side only gets to draw 3. It's a pretty unique effect. Okay, there's the cards being drawn for both sides. Let's see what the Magmortar player got out of this new hand. Another energy removal too. There's a coin flip, and it is another heads. Alright, getting rid of a psychic energy from this Gardevoir. Trying to slow it down. Another fire energy comes down to the Magmortar. It activates its Flame Body Poke Body, healing 20 damage off of it, and then hitting Gardevoir with another Fireball Bazooka, spreading 20 more damage to the bench Chatot and Gardevoir once again. So just getting everything ready for future knockouts. Okay, now Claydol activates Cosmic Power, putting some more cards to the bottom of the deck and draw until they have 6. So that Team Galactic Wager from the previous turn didn't really do much to slow them down. Next card played is going to be Celio's Network, searching for another Pokemon to add to their hand. And then we see another Gardevoir. There's a constant stream of Gardevoir with Psychic Locks to keep their opponent from using any Poke Powers during their turn. That's what made this deck so powerful, along with the Telepass, as they could use up to 2 supporters per turn with it. They receive Rare Candy, evolving a new Ralts into a third Gardevoir. The active one activates Telepass. Let's see what they're going to be using. Steven's Advice, once again, drawing 4 more cards from their deck. They do need at least 1 more energy for this Gardevoir to start attacking. Unless the one they got is a Cyclone Energy, forcing the Magmortar player to swap out their active Pokemon for a brand new one. So Magmortar goes to the bench, and the player promotes Leafeon, And there's the attack. Psychic Lock hitting Leafeon for 60 damage. Okay, on the Magmortar side, the player activates another Castaway, searching the deck for 3 more cards. Another Cessation Crystal, the Grass Energy, and what else? And the support is going to be Celio's Network. So now without Grass Energy, this Leafeon will be able to start using its attack this turn. Yep, there's the Grass Energy coming down to the active Pokemon. Is it going to be also getting the Cessation Crystal? Yes, it is! Once again, locking away the opponent's Poke Powers. Oh, and Leafeon is also leveling up into a level X form. It does have a brand new attack and more HP as well. Okay, and there's the attack. Bind down, hitting for 30 damage, enough to KO this Gardevoir, and Magmortar finally takes its first prize. On the Gardevoir side, Chatot comes up as a new active Pokemon, and a double Rainbow Energy is equipped to the new Gardevoir. Looks like Chatot is going to be retreating for free, promoting the Gardevoir level X. Maybe player's still considering it. Okay, yeah, they did commit to it. It only has 10 HP left. Although the player figures that it's going to get knocked out anyway with Magmortar's Fireball Bazooka attack, so I might as well get some attacks in. Okay, so the Gardevoir level X knocked out Leafeon with its Psychic Lock attack, taking another prize. Now they're down to 3 prizes to Magmortar's 5. But Magmortar can take 2 KOs on this turn with Fireball Bazooka. So they did a really good job in setting up the damage on previous turns. The player uses Celio's Network to search the deck for another Magmortar to evolve their benched Magmar. And do they have any fire energies to give to it? Yes, they do. Fire energy comes down to the benched Magmortar. And a Rotom comes down to the bench as well. And there's the attack. Fireball Bazooka taking a KO on both Gardevoir level X and Chatot, and hitting the bench Gardevoir for 20 damage. Magmortar takes 2 more prizes, and now both sides are tied at 3 prizes remaining apiece. Alright. The new Gardevoir comes up as a new active Pokemon. And a Ralts comes down to the bench. There's the rare candy, and here we see Gallade this time. Okay, so it looks like the player doesn't have any more Gardevoir to play. There we see Claydol's Cosmic Power activating. Putting some cards to the bottom of the deck and drawing 3 cards. Next we see Telepass activating. Telepass is going to copy Steven's Advice once again to draw 4 more cards out of the deck. So between Cosmic Power and Steven's Advice, the player should have 10 cards in hand now. Okay, looks like they did get the energy they need. Call Energy. And Roseanne's Research is going to be the next card played, searching the deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon or basic energies. Although this deck does not run a whole lot of basic energy cards. It's mostly special energies. Okay, they chose a Duskull, which they put onto the bench, and looks like that's it. And there's the attack, Psychic Lock, hitting Magmortar for 50 damage. Okay, let's see what the Magmortar side can do. A second Fire Energy comes down onto the benched Magmortar. And Steven's Advice to draw 4 more cards out of the deck. The Baltoy on the bench finally evolves into another Claydol, although it cannot use its Cosmic Power because of the Psychic Lock. And there's the attack. Oh, it's going to be Flame Bluster this time! Magmortar level X's brand new attack, discarding 2 fire energy from itself to deal 100 damage to the active Gardevoir. And now they're finally in the prize lead. Magmortar's down to 2 more prizes. The Gallade comes up as a new active Pokemon for the Gardevoir side, and the player... Oh! And they get a Scramble Energy, which is perfect! It counts as a triple Rainbow Energy if they are behind in prizes. So now this Gallade is fully powered up to start using either one of its attacks. Steven's Advice is played to draw 4 more cards from the deck. And there's the attack, Psychic Cut. Taking a KO against Magmortar, and now both sides are tied once again, 2 prizes apiece. But now because both sides have the same amount of prizes, Scramble Energy deactivates, so now it only provides 1 colorless energy. Rotom comes up as a new active Pokemon, and the player activates Night Maintenance, searching their discard pile for up to 3 discarded basic energy or Pokemon. And the cards chosen are going to be a Fire Energy, a Magmar, and a Magmortar, all being shuffled back into the deck. Okay, there we see the deck coming back down. Are we going to see any energy attachments this turn? Not yet. We do see a Crystal Beach coming down, and another Team Galactic's Wager. There's another game of Paper, Scissors, Rock, and this time the Gardevoir side wins. Both sides shuffle their hands away. Magmortar side is going to get to draw 3, while the Gardevoir side is going to draw all 6. But because the Gardevoir side does not have access to Psychic Lock anymore, the Magmortar player can now use Cosmic Power. There's Cosmic Power activating. Okay, now the player can draw until they have 6 cards in hand. Any more energies coming down? No. But they do attack with Dual Trans. It's a free attack, letting the player search their discard pile for up to 2 energy cards to attach to their Pokemon. So the player attaches 2 Fire Energy onto the benched Magmortar, getting ready to start attacking on a future turn. Over to the Gardevoir side, the player activates their own Cosmic Power, putting 2 cards to the bottom of their deck, and they're drawing 1 card. And now they're going to be playing their own Team Galactic's Wager. There's another game of Paper, Scissors, Rock, and Paper beats Rock. Gardevoir wins the game. Both players shuffle their hand away again. 3 cards to the Magmortar side and 6 cards to the Gardevoir side. Alright, there's the cards being drawn. Let's do what the player gets. A double Rainbow Energy comes down, although it doesn't provide 2 Rainbow Energies as the Crystal Beach is in play, so Gallade cannot attack this turn, giving the Magmortar player another turn to power up their Pokemon. Magmortar gets a 5th Fire Energy, and Claydol activates Cosmic Power, letting the player draw until they have 6 cards in their hand again. And there's the attack, another Dual Trans, searching the discard pile for more Fire Energy to attach onto Magmortar. And that time it was just 1, so they must be out of Fire Energy in their discard pile. Although that is a lot of energy. It's 6 energy on Magmortar. On the Gardevoir side, the player activates Celios Network, searching the deck for Dusknoir. So if the player has a Rare Candy, the Duskull can evolve this turn. And yes, they do. Rare Candy evolves Duskull into Dusknoir. But do they have a way to get rid of this Crystal Beach to start attacking? There we see a Cosmic Power, drawing some more cards out of the deck. They need a way to get rid of Crystal Beach. Did they get it? And yes, they did. The Lake Boundary replaces Crystal Beach, meaning that Gallade can now start attacking. And there's the attack, Psychic Cut, flipping over 1 prize, increasing the attack power by 20, and taking a 1-hit KO against Rotom, and now the Gardevoir side is down to just 1 more prize. They're really close to winning this game. Although they are going to be going up against this very heavily powered up Magmortar. It's got 6 energy on it, and another Crystal Beach comes down, not giving the Gardevoir side any room to breathe, and a 7th energy comes down. 7 energy cards, meaning that the Flame Blast is hitting for 140 damage, taking a 1-hit KO against Gallade. Both sides are tied at 1 prize remaining apiece. Claydol comes as the new active Pokemon, and a Scramble Energy is equipped to Dusknoir. Warp Point is used to swap out the both active Pokemon. Dusknoir comes up as a new active Pokemon, along with the Claydol for the Magmortar side. It looks like the player's trying to stall out the game so they can power up this Dusknoir and win. They just need 1 more turn to attach double Rainbow Energy, as long as they can get rid of this Crystal Beach. Yes, they did. A Windstorm gets rid of Crystal Beach, so they have the double Rainbow Energy in hand. They can win the next turn. Turn passes. Let's see what Magmortar can do. And it's a Warp Point! That's going to be the game. Magmortar comes back into play. And it's going to be easily able to KO anything on the Gallade side. There's the attack. Flame Blast to take the final prize. And there's the handshake. Magmortar is your winner. And here we go. The battle has started with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Greninja side, we've got Talonflame as the active Pokemon through the use of its Gale Wings ability. And on the Darkrai side, we've got Yveltal as the active Pokemon. The Darkrai side is going first, activating Ultra Ball, discarding 2 cards from their hand to search out Hoopa EX from the deck, which then comes down into the bench to activate its ability Scoundrel Ring, letting it search the deck for 3 more EX Pokemon. And then once chosen are going to be Giratina, Shaman, and Darkrai, all coming into the player's hand. There we see Darkrai coming down, followed by Giratina. And the next item is going to be Max Elixir. Now the player can look at the top 6 cards of their deck, choose 1 basic energy card to attach onto one of their benched Pokemon. So there we see a Darkness Energy coming down onto Darkrai, and the other 5 cards are shuffled back into the deck. The next card coming down is going to be Reversal Valley, the Stadium, followed by Shaman EX, activating its ability Setup. And now the player can draw until they have 6 cards in their hand. Next card is going to be another Max Elixir, once again taking a look at the top 6 cards of the deck. Let's see if they get another energy card. Yes, they did. A second Darkness Energy comes down into the bench Darkrai. The other 5 cards are shuffled back in, so we've already got 2 energy accelerations coming into play. And the manual attachment is going to be a Double Dragon Energy coming down onto Giratina. Double Dragon Energy counts as a double Rainbow Energy, basically, but it can only be equipped onto Dragon Pokemon. And now over to the Greninja side, the player activates Level Ball, searching the deck for a Froakie to put onto their bench. And then we see a Water Energy coming down onto Talonflame. There's the attack. It's going to be Aero Blitz, hitting Yveltal for 40 damage. And now the player can search their deck for any 2 cards that they want to add into their hand. There's the 2 cards being chosen, and then it's going to be a quick turn for the Greninja side. Turn passes back over to the Darkrai side now. And let's see what they can do. A second Double Dragon Energy comes down onto Giratina, followed by a Float Stone coming down to Yveltal, giving a free retreat cost to promote Darkrai EX. There's the attack Dark Pulse. It's going to be a 1-hit KO as Dark Pulse hits for 20 damage plus 20 more damage for every Darkness Energy on its side of the field, which is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 additional energy cards because of the Double Dragon Energies. Now over to the Greninja side. Another Level Ball searches out a Frogadier to evolve the active Froakie, and the energy attachment is going to be a Splash Energy coming down. And there's the attack Water Duplicates. Now the player can search their deck for up to 3 more Frogadier to put onto their bench. Now we've got 2, and there's 3, so 4 Frogadier in play. Really good attack, letting them skip the Froakie stage. Now over to the Darkrai side again. They've already taken 1 prize. Their item this turn is going to be an Ultra Ball, discarding 2 cards from their hand to search the deck for any 1 Pokemon that they want. And the one chosen is going to be Trubbish. The supporter is going to be Professor Sycamore, discarding the rest of the player's hand to draw 7 cards out of the deck. Let's see if they get any more energy cards coming down, or any more items. Yeah, there we see a Darkness Energy coming down to the bench Yveltal, and there's the next attack, another Dark Pulse. Take another KO, that's 2 prizes taken by Darkrai. Another Frogadier comes into the active spot now, and the one that was KO'd last turn did come back into the hand because of the effect of Splash Energy. So there we see Froakie coming back down into the bench. A Water Energy is equipped onto the active Frogadier, and there's the supporter, Ace Trainer. Both players now shuffle away their hands. The Greninja player gets to draw 6 cards, while the Darkrai player only draws 3. Alright, there we go. The active Frogadier evolves into Greninja. The next item is going to be a Dive Ball, letting the player search their deck for any water Pokemon. It's going to be another Greninja, but it's going to be a different one this time. The bench one has an ability called Water Shuriken, which it is now activating, discarding a Water Energy from the hand to hit the bench Trubbish on the opponent's side for 30 damage. A Bursting Balloon is equipped to the active Greninja, and there's the attack. It's going to be Moonlight Slash. The player returns the Water Energy back into their hand to increase the attack power of Moonlight Slash by 20 points, hitting for a total of 80. And now the Darkrai player activates N. So both players shuffle away their hands. The Greninja player is going to draw 6 cards, while the Darkrai player gets to draw 4. So let's see what they get out of these 4 cards. Okay, nothing else is going to be played. There's another Dark Pulse attack. Taking another easy one-hit KO. That's 3 prizes taken, but the bursting balloon on the Greninja does burst. So Darkrai takes 60 damage in recoil. Okay, the next Greninja comes into the active spot, and the player activates Super Rod, searching their discard pile for a Water Energy, a Frogadier, and a Greninja to shuffle back into the deck. Greninja activates Water Shuriken, hitting the opponent's Trubbish for another 60 damage. It's only got 10 HP left. And there we see another N being activated. So Greninja still gets to draw 6 cards, as they have not taken any prizes, but now Darkrai only gets to draw 3. The active Greninja evolves into Greninja Break, and it gets a Water Energy attached. Okay, there's the attack. Greninja Break can use the attack of its previous form, Mist Slash, taking the KO against Darkrai, and that is 2 prizes taken by Greninja. Okay, over to the Darkrai side, Yveltal comes as its new active Pokemon. And now it's going to be immediately retreating with the help of its Float Stone to promote Giratina EX. This Trubbish needs to evolve to activate its Garbotoxin ability, but it looks like the player does not have it in their hand. They activate Lysander to bring up the bench Frogadier. And there's the attack, Chaos Wheel. That's going to be another KO taken by the Darkrai side. 4 prizes taken so far. They just got to take 2 more prizes to win the game. Greninja Break activates its ability, Water Shuriken, to take the KO against Trubbish, so they take another prize. And they still have not attacked yet. It's a pretty good turn so far. A VS Seeker is activated, getting back the Ace Trainer to activate. And now Greninja's going to draw 6 cards, while Darkrai gets to draw 3. So let's see if they get any more evolutions coming down. A Battle Compressor is activated, searching the deck for up to 3 cards to discard. So there we see a Fisherman, a Water Energy, and a Talonflame. Talonflame is not going to be used anymore for the remainder of the game. So it's being discarded right away. And there's the attack. Mist Slash, hitting Giratina for 50 damage, and turn passes again. A Fighting Fury belt comes down to Giratina, giving it 40 more HP and 10 extra attack points, followed by VS Seeker to bring back Lysander to drag Froakie into the active spot. It's going to be another KO. It's only got 60 HP. It cannot stand up to this Giratina. There's the attack, Chaos Wheel, taking a KO, and that is 5 prizes taken. The Darkrai side just has to take 1 more KO to win the game, but they have to take down this Greninja Break to do it. Greninja Break activates VS Seeker to bring back the Fisherman, which then brings back 4 basic Water Energies from the discard pile. And now Greninja can activate 2 of its abilities. So we see that was Giant Water Shuriken, and there's a second one, the regular Water Shuriken, to hit it for another 30 damage. So it's 90 damage so far without even attacking yet. And there's the actual attack, Mist Slash, hitting for an extra 50 damage. So I believe that is 190 damage. Giratina's only got 20 HP left, so that Fighting Fury belt really helped it out. A Darkness Energy comes down to the bench to Yveltal, and there's the attack, Chaos Wheel, hitting for 110 damage. So Greninja's almost knocked out. Okay, it activates Water Shuriken, discarding an energy card to take the KO against Giratina, taking 2 more prizes, and now both sides are tied at 1 prize remaining. And now Greninja still has access to its second ability and its attack, so it can hit for another 110 damage. So the only one that can stand up to this attack is the Hoopa, because both Yveltal and Shaman can be KO'd this turn. Okay, there's the second ability. Another Water Energy is discarded. Giant Water Shuriken hits Hoopa for 60 damage, and Mist Slash hits for another 50 damage. But now Hoopa is stuck in the active spot. Oh, never mind. The player has a Float Stone to retreat the Hoopa, and they promote Yveltal. The player just needs 1 more Darkness Energy to win the game to use their second attack. Do they have it? No, they don't! they can only attack with Oblivion Wing, which only hits for 40 damage with the Reversal Valley, but it's not going to be enough to take the KO. Now over to the Greninja side. Oh, they got the VS Seeker. Yeah, to get the Fisherman to get back 4 water energies. So Greninja will be able to take the KO with both of its abilities. Yeah, there's both abilities being activated. Water Shuriken and Giant Water Shuriken to hit the opponent's Yveltal to take the final prize. And there's the handshake. Greninja Break is your winner. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Jumpluff side, we've got Hoppip as the active Pokemon, with another Hoppip on the bench. And on the Sableye side, we've got Sableye as the active Pokemon, going first thanks to its Pokebody Overeager. Sableye gets a Psychic Energy attached, and then attacks with Impersonate. It's a free attack, letting it copy the effect of any supporter from the deck by sending it to the discard pile, so it copies Cyrus's Conspiracy, getting an energy gain, a Pokemon Collector, and basic Darkness Energy added to the player's hand. And that's going to be it for the Sableye side for their first turn. Now over to the Jumpluff side. Let's see what they can do. The player starts off by using Roseanne's Research as their supporter, searching their deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon or basic energy cards in any combination. So we get both Hoppip and Baltoy added to the bench. Okay, let's see if they have any more trainer cards to use or any energies to play. There we go, a Luxury Ball is played. Now the player can search their deck for any Pokemon as long as it's not a level X Pokemon to add to their hand. And the one chosen is going to be a Jumpluff this time. If the player has a rare candy, they can evolve straight into Jumpluff right away. It's going to be the main attacker of this deck, and it just needs 1 energy to start attacking. And yes, there's a rare candy to evolve the active Hoppip into Jumpluff. Do they have the Grass Energy? Yes, they do. If they can bench just 1 more Pokemon, they can immediately win this game by taking the KO against Sableye. Oh, but they didn't have it. They attack with... Okay, that's 30 damage, so that was Leaf Guard attack. It only deals 30 damage, but Jumpluff is also shielded from 30 damage from the next attack. On the Sableye side, the player activates Pokemon Collector as their supporter, searching their deck for 3 basic Pokemon to add to their hand. So we see 2 Garchomp C and a Honchkrow G. They're all basic Pokemon because they're classified as SP, even though they're technically evolved. Okay, there's both the Garchomp and the Honchkrow coming down. Honchkrow gets the Darkness Energy and the Poketool Energy Gain. So it reduces the attack cost of its target attack by 1 colorless energy. Next, Crobat comes down, activating its ability Flash Bite, hitting the opposing Baltoy for 10 damage. And now Sableye is going to be paying the retreat cost to promote Honchkrow, which I'm pretty sure is going to be taking the KO against his Baltoy. And yes, there's the attack. Target attack, hitting Baltoy for 40 damage. Enough to take the first KO of the game. So that is 5 prizes to 6, with Sableye in the lead so far. Back over to the Jumpluff side. A Grass Energy comes down to one of the benched Hoppip, and the player puts Uxie down to the bench to activate Setup as their ability. Oh, but the Sableye side activates Power Spray to negate Uxie's ability, so they cannot draw any cards. Jumpluff then attacks with Mass Attack, taking the KO against Honchkrow as it deals 10 damage for every Pokemon in play. That is a total of 90 damage. So now both sides are tied, 5 prizes remaining apiece. Crobat G comes up as a new active Pokemon, and a double colorless energy comes down to one of the Garchomp, followed by a supporter, Cyrus's Initiative. Now the player flips 2 coins. One of them is going to be heads, so they can look at their opponent's hand. Let's see what they have. A Jumpluff and a BB Search. So with 1 heads, they can choose one of those cards in the hand and put it at the bottom of the deck, and that was the BB Search. So Jumpluff just has 1 more Jumpluff left in hand. Okay, Crobat G is going to be retreating to promote Sableye, which attacks once again with Impersonate, copying the effect of another supporter. It's going to be the second Cyrus's Conspiracy, getting 3 more cards into the hand. It's another Darkness Energy, an SP Radar, and the third Cyrus's Conspiracy. Okay, there we go. Just adding some more key cards into the player's hand for the following turn. Back over to the Jumpluff side. There's the draw. They only have 2 cards in hand. I'll make that 1 now because they just attached the Grass Energy. And there's the attack. I believe that was Leaf Guard that time, which is enough to take the KO. That's going to be 2 prizes taken by Jumpluff. Okay, Crobat comes back into the active spot now. The player activates SP Radar, swapping out one of their cards from their hand for any SP Pokemon from the deck. And the one chosen is going to be Garchomp Level X. One of the strongest attackers of this format thanks to its Dragon Rush attack. Okay, the Garchomp with the energy comes into the active spot now. And he gets the energy gain to reduce the attack cost of its Dragon Rush attack. There's the level X. A second double colorless energy comes down to the benched Garchomp. And there's Cyrus's Conspiracy to search the deck for another 3 cards. There's the Poke turn. Cyrus's Initiative. And where's the basic energy? Actually, that was it. It looks like they don't have any more basic energy cards left in the deck. But there's the Dragon Rush targeting down the opposing Hoppip to take the KO. Although Garchomp has to discard its double colorless energy, and it cannot attack on the following turn. Okay, back over to the Jumpluff side. The benched Hoppip evolves into a Skiploom. And now Jumpluff attacks with... That was Mass Attack that time, hitting Garchomp for 60 damage. On the Sableye side, the player activates Poke Turn to pick up Garchomp back into the hand to completely undo all that damage that was just done. The second Garchomp comes up, so they can continue the string of Dragon Rush attacks. Yeah, there's the level X form coming back down. And there's the energy gain once again, so they can take another KO with Dragon Rush. Okay, the other Garchomp comes back onto the bench, followed by another Cyrus's Initiative. There's the other 2 coin flips. And 1 heads, once again. Let's see what the opposing player has in hand. The Jumpluff and a Skiploom that time, so the player's going to be putting the Jumpluff at the bottom of the deck. So things are not looking good for the Jumpluff player. They only have a Skiploom in hand. And speaking of Skiploom, it is going to be getting KO'd thanks to that Dragon Rush attack. And that is 3 prizes taken by Garchomp. So the Sableye side has a really strong advantage. Okay, the Jumpluff player did not play any cards. They can only attack with Mass Attack, hitting for 50 damage. Now back over to the Sableye side. Darkness Energy comes down to the benched Garchomp. And there's another Poke turn to pick up the Garchomp level X. Once again healing all that damage. The second Garchomp comes back into the active spot now. And he gets the energy gain. There's Garchomp level X. It cannot use Dragon Rush attack, but it can use Claw Swipe, hitting Jumpluff for 30 damage now. Okay, back over to the Jumpluff side. Oh, they just drew a card and attacked. They still cannot play anything. They must have a really bad hand. So they attacked with Leaf Guard, hitting for 30 damage, but they are shielded from 30 damage from any Garchomp attacks. Garchomp gets a second Darkness Energy to hit Uxie with Dragon Rush, and that is 4 prizes taken. So Sableye just has to take 2 more prizes to win this game. Oh, but here we go. Broken Time Space comes down. A Baltoy, and then a Claydol evolves immediately thanks to the ability of Broken Time Space, and it looks like that was exactly what the player needed. Thanks to Claydol and their Cosmic Power ability, they can draw until they have 6 cards in hand. Okay, a second Baltoy comes down onto the bench, followed by a supporter, Judge, forcing both players to shuffle away their entire hands to draw 4 brand new cards. So Jumpluff is looking to make a comeback now. Let's see what they get. Did they have any more Hoppip to put down? They need to start powering up new attackers. Okay, there's the second Claydol. Now they can use another Cosmic Power ability. Oh, but there's a Power Spray to negate it. Power Spray can only be activated if the player has at least 3 SP Pokemon in play. Okay, Pokemon Communication is played by the Jumpluff side, swapping out one of their Pokemon from their hand for a Crobat from the deck. So they're going to be looking to take the KO against this Garchomp with Crobat's ability. Okay, there's Crobat coming down, activating Flash Bite, dealing 10 damage to the opposing Garchomp. And now it's in range to take the KO with its Mass Attack. Yes, there's the attack declared, and Garchomp finally goes down. That is 3 prizes taken by Jumpluff, but they still don't have any attackers, or sorry, backup attackers. Okay, on the Sableye side, Crobat comes up as a new active Pokemon once again. And the player's trying to decide what to do now. They don't have any attackers. Okay, there's this double colorless energy coming down into Garchomp, followed by a supporter, Aaron's Collection, searching the discard pile for up to 2 basic energy cards or SP Pokemon. Then we see a Darkness Energy and a Psychic Energy. Okay, both cards added to the hand. Crobat retreats to promote Garchomp. So it can hit with... Actually, it can't hit with anything right now. Oh wait, no. Yes, it can. Sorry. It can hit with Claw Swipe at least, hitting for 30 damage. So Jumpluff is down to just 30 HP remaining. Okay, let's see what the Jumpluff player can do. They need another Jumpluff. There's the Night Maintenance, searching the discard pile for up to 3 Pokemon or basic energy cards to shuffle back into the deck. There's a Grass Energy, a Hoppip, and another Hoppip. Okay, all 3 cards are shuffled back in. Let's see if they draw into them with either of these Claydol abilities. And with only 2 Pokemon in play, the Sableye side cannot activate Power Spray anymore. So this Claydol cannot be stopped. There's 1 Cosmic Power, putting up to 2 cards from the hand to the bottom of the deck, and then drawing until the player has 6 cards in hand. The really powerful draw ability in this format. Okay, yeah, there's 1 Hoppip, followed by Unknown Q activating its ability to equip itself onto Crobat as a tool to reduce its retreat cost, although it's completely unnecessary on this Crobat. But the player's just trying to thin out their hand. A Grass Energy also came down to Hoppip, and there's a second Cosmic Power drawing some more cards out of the deck. Did they get the Skiploom and the Jumpluff? Okay, not yet, but there's the Pokemon Communication swapping out Hoppip from the hand for any Pokemon from the deck. And there's a Jumpluff. If the player has a Rare Candy or a Skiploom already in hand, they can evolve immediately, thanks to the Broken Time Space. And yes, there's the Skiploom, and there's Jumpluff. So they now have a second attacker, just in case the active one goes down. There's a Mass Attack hitting for 70 damage. Garchomp is down to just 40 HP remaining. The Sableye player activates Luxury Ball to search your deck for any Pokemon to add to their hand. Let's see what they get. It's going to be Uxie now, to draw some more cards with its setup Poke Power. And now it looks like the Sableye side is on the back foot. Okay, Garchomp gets a Darkness Energy to attack with Dragon Rush, and their setup. Now the player can draw until they have 7 cards in hand. Okay, let's see what they get. They need to start setting up another attacker, because I'm pretty sure this Garchomp is going to be getting KO'd on the following turn. There's another Sableye coming down onto the bench. And there's SP Radar swapping out a card from their hand for any SP Pokemon. So let's see what they get. What is left in the deck for them? Okay, it's going to be another Crobat G. And we do know the player has a Psychic Energy in deck, so they can attack with Toxic Fang, just in case. And there's a Dragon Rush, discarding 2 energy off Garchomp to take the KO against one of the Claydols. That is 5 prizes taken now by Sableye. They're down to just 1 more prize, but they need 1 more attacker to close out this game. On the Jumpluff side, Jumpluff retreats to promote the other Jumpluff, the one without the damage, just to get it out of harm's way. And let's see what else the player can do. There's a Cosmic Power coming from Claydol. And now the player can draw until they have 6 cards in hand. There we go. It looks like Jumpluff is down to 30 HP, so the Sableye player can take the KO by using Crobat's Flash Bite ability. Okay, there's Jumpluff. It gets a plus power to attack with Leaf Guard that time, taking the KO against Garchomp. And now Leaf Guard does protect Jumpluff from 30 damage. And that is 4 prizes taken by Jumpluff. They're making a comeback. Okay, Sableye comes up as a new active Pokemon now, after Crobat retreats, and no other cards are played. Sableye attacks with Impersonate to copy the effect of Cyrus's Conspiracy. And now they can get some more cards out of the deck. It's going to be a Poke turn. Felicity's drawing. And I believe that's it. They don't have any more basic energy cards left in the deck. Okay, that's going to be it for the Sableye side. Back over to the Jumpluff side. Okay, there's an Unknown R coming down into the bench. It activates its ability Retire to discard itself, and then the player can draw 1 card. Okay, there's another Unknown R, once again discarding itself. To draw another card out of the deck, the player needs to draw the Expert Belt to give the bench Jumpluff an extra 20 HP so it doesn't get KO'd by Crobat. Hoppip comes down and gets a Grass Energy, and there's the Cosmic Power to draw even more cards out of the deck. The player is trying to dig as deep as they can into this deck to get that Expert Belt, just in case the opposing player has 2 Poke Powers in hand. Okay, that is 5 prizes taken, so both players a tie at 1 prize remaining apiece. Okay, there's Crobat coming down, activates Flash Bite, hitting the bench Jumpluff for 10 damage. There's a Poke Turn, hitting it for another 10 damage, down to just 10 HP. Do they have the final? Yes, they do! The final Poke Turn comes down to take the KO against Jumpluff, and now Sableye can take their final prize. And there's the handshake! Sableye is your winner! And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Yanmega side, we've got Yanma as the active Pokemon with the Magnemite on the bench, and on the Emboar side, we've got Magnemite as the active Pokemon. The Emboar side is going first, putting a Tepig onto the bench and attaching a Fire Energy to the active Magnemite, followed by the item Pokemon Communication to swap out an Emboar from the hand for any Pokemon from the deck. And the Pokemon chosen is going to be Cleffa, which immediately comes down. This Cleffa is a bit of a reprint from the original one from Neo Genesis, having the exact same attack to shuffle the hand away to draw some cards out of the deck. Magnemite retreats, and next the supporter is going to be Professor Oak's New Theory to shuffle away the hand to draw 6 brand new cards. There's the cards coming down, so let's see if the player puts down any more Pokemon onto their bench this turn. Yes, we see a second Tepig coming down, and there's the attack, Eek. Now the player gets to shuffle their hand away to draw 6 cards, the same as Professor Oak's New Theory, and Cleffa also puts itself to sleep with its attack. Cleffa also comes with a Pokebody called Sweet Sleeping Face, making it so that it cannot take any damage if it's asleep during the opponent's turn. Okay, now between turns, the player flips a coin, and it came up tails, so Cleffa does not wake up. And now over to Yanmega. They bench a second Yanma, and they activate Pokemon Collector to search out 3 basic Pokemon from their deck. The ones chosen are going to be their own Cleffa, another Magnemite, and a Horsey. Alright, so now they're going to be having a full bench once they put all these Pokemon down. Yeah, here we see all the 3 basic Pokemon coming down. Let's see if they have any energies to attach this turn. Yeah, a Lightning Energy is equipped to one of the benched Magnemite, and now Yanma can retreat for free with its Free Flight Pokebody, promoting the Cleffa. Any more cards coming down? No, they're going straight for the attack. Also using Eek to shuffle and draw 6 cards, and now both Cleffa are asleep. There's the 6 cards being drawn. And between turns, both players are going to be flipping a coin to see if their Pokemon wake up. Oh, they both came up tails, so neither one wakes up this turn. Okay, turn passes over to the Emboar side. Let's see what they can do with the next turn. A second Magnemite comes down into their bench, followed by a Reshiram, and now they also have a full bench. A second Professor Oak's New Theory is played to draw 6 new cards out of the deck. Let's see if they get any evolutions or more energy to play. Oh, that's going to be it for the turn. No more cards being played. There's a coin flip again. Cleffa on the Emboar side wakes up, but the one on the Yanmega side is still asleep. And speaking of Yanmega, we see the first one coming down, followed by Rare Candy to evolve Magnemite straight into Magnezone. Magnezone activates his Pokebody. Magnetic Draw, letting the player draw cards from the deck until they have 6 cards in hand. And now the second Magnemite evolves into Magneton, followed by the supporter Judge. And now both players have to shuffle away their hands to draw 4 cards apiece. A great supporter for disruption. There's the 4 cards being drawn. Are we going to be seeing any more evolutions coming down? No, that's going to be it for the turn. Another Tails, so Cleffa still does not wake up for the Yanmega side. And let's see what Emboar can do. A Rescue Energy is attached to the bench Reshiram, followed by Pokemon Communication to swap out a Tepig from the hand for any Pokemon from the deck. So we might be seeing the first evolution coming down for this side of the field. Yes, we see one of the Tepig evolving into Pignite. Once it finishes evolving into Emboar, it's going to be the main energy accelerator of the deck. The turn ends with Cleffa using Eek to shuffle and draw 6 new cards, and also puts itself to sleep once again. These first opening moves of the game are going to be used to establish their boards to build up the attackers on either side. So Cleffa is really good for consistency in drawing cards in the early game. In between turns, both players flip tails once again. Neither Cleffa wants to wake up. And now Yanmega activates Professor Oak's New Theory. There are the 6 cards being drawn. Are there going to be any more energy or evolutions coming down? Let's take a look. Yes, the second Magnezone comes down, followed by a second Lightning Energy, equipped to the first Magnezone. And the second Yanma evolves into another Yanmega. So the Yanmega side has got a lot of attackers already set up on their side of the field. The first Magnetic Draw is activated. And now Switch is played to get Cleffa out of the active spot to promote Yanmega. Yanmega comes with a Pokebody called Insight, letting it attack for free if both players have the same number of cards in hand. Looks like they did, and there's the attack linear attack, hitting the benched Magnemite for 40 damage. And once again, between turns, Cleffa does not wake up yet. On the Emboar side, oh, we finally see Emboar coming down, activating its ability Inferno Fandango, letting it attach as many fire energies from the hand to any Pokemon on its side of the field. So we see a fire energy attached to Reshiram, and that was it. There's no more cards being played. Over to Yanmega, they activate Copycat to shuffle away their hand to draw the same number of cards as their opponent has. And it looks like 5 cards were drawn. And now that the players have the same number of cards in hand, Yanmega can attack for free once again. But before the attack comes through, Pokemon Communication swaps out a Yanma from the hand for... Are we going to be seeing an evolution for Horsea? Yeah, we are. Horsea evolves into Seadra. But with those cards being played, it looks like the player does not have the same number of cards as their opponent. But they do have Magnezone to draw some cards out of the deck. A Lightning Energy is equipped to the second Magnezone, and yeah, there's the attack. Another linear attack, taking a KO on one of the benched Magnemite, and Yanmega takes the first prize of the game. Okay, there's a coin flip, and Cleffa finally wakes up. Let's see what Emboar can do. They activate the Supported Twins. If the player is behind in prizes, they can search the deck for any 2 cards that they want. There's the 2 cards being chosen. They do not have to reveal them to their opponent. But we might be seeing Magnemite evolve this turn. Rare Candy into Magnezone. Yeah, so looks like the mystery cards might have been the Rare Candy and the Magnezone. Emboar equips the second Fire Energy onto Reshiram, and the Lightning Energy is equipped to the benched Magnezone. Cleffa retreats for free to promote Reshiram, and we're going to be seeing a major attack coming through. But first, Magnetic Draw comes through to draw a couple more cards out of the deck, and now Emboar can activate what's it called? Inferno Fandango once again to attach a Fire Energy onto Magnezone, and there's the attack. Reshiram knocks out Yanmega with its Blue Flare, and now both sides are down to 5 remaining prizes. Cleffa comes up active for the Yanmega side. Lightning Energy is equipped to the second Magnezone, and Seadra evolves into Kingdra. Kingdra activates its Poke Power Spray Splash, putting a damage counter on the opponent's Cleffa, and now their own Cleffa retreats to promote Yanmega. Magnezone activates Magnetic Draw, and now the player activates Pokemon Reversal, flips a coin, and it is heads, picking Emboar to come up into the active spot. Emboar's got a pretty hefty retreat cost of 4, so unless the player draws 4 energy to attach onto it or uses a switch, it's going to be stuck in the active spot. And there's the attack, Sonic Boom, hitting Emboar for 70 damage. Emboar activates Inferno Fandango to attach a Fire Energy onto the bench Reshiram, and then activates Professor Oak to shuffle their hand away to draw 6 cards, probably hoping to draw into the switch to get this Emboar out of the active spot. Another Inferno Fandango is played to equip a second Fire Energy onto Reshiram, and a second Reshiram comes down onto the bench, followed by the Trainer Energy Retrieval to get back 2 discarded Fire Energies, which once again are equipped using Emboar's ability onto the new Reshiram. And finally, Magnezone activates Magnetic Draw to draw 3 cards out of the deck, and yes, it did have the switch. Emboar comes back onto the bench to promote Reshiram once again, and we're going to be seeing another KO. There's the attack, Blue Flare, hitting for 120 damage, taking a second prize. Cleffa comes up active once again on the Yanmega side, and they're going to be activating their item, Pokemon Communication, to swap out a Magnemite from their hand. Or, let's take a look. It's going to be Pachirisu this time. Pachirisu has a Poke Power called Self-Generation. When it comes down onto the bench from the hand, it can equip up to 2 Lightning Energies from the hand onto itself. But first, Kingdra activates Spray Splash to hit the opponent's Cleffa once again for another 10 damage. And here we see Pachirisu coming down. Self-Generation attaches, just 1 Lightning Energy onto itself. Looks like the player didn't have the second one to use, but Magnezone now activates Magnetic Draw. And here we see the second Lightning Energy coming down to Pachirisu, and the second Magnezone also activates his ability. Cleffa is retreating to promote one of the Magnezone, and we're going to be seeing the first Lost Burn attack. There's the attack, Lost Burn. The player can send as many energy cards from their side of the field to the Lost Zone and inflicts 50 damage times the number of energy discarded. That was 3 energy, hitting for 150 damage to take a KO. And the Rescue Energy, that was equipped to Reshiram, returns the knocked out Pokemon to the player's hand. Okay, on the Emboar side, Cleffa comes up active, and Emboar attaches 2 Fire Energy onto Reshiram. And now Magnezone draws 1 card from the deck. Is Cleffa going to be retreating? Yeah, it is, to promote their own Magnezone. Alright. Magnezone versus Magnezone. There's the attack. They're going to be using their own Lost Burn to send 3 of their own energy cards to the Lost Zone to take a KO against the opposing Magnezone. And now Emboar is down to 3 prizes. Okay, let's see what the Yanmega side can do. Kingdra activates Spray Splash to deal the final 10 damage to the opposing Cleffa. And that's another prize taken. Magnemite is put down into the bench, and a Lightning Energy comes down to the Magnemite, followed by the supporter Judge. Once again, both players have to shuffle their hands away to draw 4 brand new cards. There's the cards being drawn. Let's see what else the Yanmega side can do. Here we see another Yanma coming down onto the bench. It is going to be needing another turn to evolve into Yanmega. But are we going to be seeing an attack coming through from the Magnezone? They do have enough energy to take the KO, but that will get rid of all the energy remaining on their side of the field. Magnezone draws some more cards out of the deck, and it's going to be Cleffa attacking this time, using Eek to shuffle and draw 6 brand new cards. So it looks like the player is hoping to stall with Cleffa, as its Pokebody will protect it as long as it remains asleep during this turn. There's a coin flip, and it is tails! So Cleffa will remain asleep, meaning that the Emboar side cannot inflict damage onto it. Emboar activates Inferno Fandango again to equip a Fire Energy onto Magnezone. And what else is going to be coming down? Another Cleffa comes down for their side of the field. And Switch gets the Magnezone out of the active spot to promote their own Cleffa again. Magnetic Draw draws 4 cards out of the deck. One of them is going to be Pokemon Communication, getting rid of Rayquaza Deoxys Legend for another Emboar. Does the player have another rare candy to evolve this Tepig? Yeah, they do! Rare candy comes down to evolve Tepig into a second Emboar. And there's the attack. Eek to shuffle and draw 6 cards. There's the cards being drawn, and now both Cleffa are going to be flipping a coin to see if they wake up. There's the coin flips, and Yanmega flips tails while Emboar flips heads. Here we see another Yanmega being played, and the Magnemite also evolves into Magneton. Magnezone activates its ability to draw a card, and now the player activates Professor Oak's new theory. Alright, there's some cards being drawn. Do they have any more energy to play on their side of the field? Now it's going to be it. Turn passes as Cleffa cannot retreat, but it does wake up this turn. Oh, looks like the player also forgot to activate Kingdra's Spray Splash ability. Okay, Lightning Energy is equipped to the bench Reshiram on the Emboar side, and Cleffa goes for the attack Eek once again. No other cards were played. So it looks like both sides are at a stalemate right now. Neither one wants to spend resources to knock out a single Cleffa. On the Yanmega side, another Magnezone is evolved, and the player activates Pokemon Reversal. There's the coin flip, and it comes up heads. The player chooses the damaged Emboar to drag up into the active spot, and it looks like it will be getting knocked out. Cleffa retreats to promote Yanmega. And there's Kingdra's ability, dealing 10 damage to Emboar, bringing it down to 70 HP remaining, exactly the amount that Yanmega needs to knock it out with the Sonic Boom. And there's the attack. And now Yanmega is down to 2 prizes to Emboar's 3. Cleffa comes up active as a new Pokemon for the Emboar side. And they're going to be using another Twins to search for another 2 cards out of their deck. There's 1 card chosen, and there's the second one. Let's see what they're going to be this turn. Cleffa retreats to promote Reshiram. And we're going to be seeing another knockout from the Blue Flare. Yeah, there's the attack, discarding 2 fire energy. And now Yanmega is knocked out. Both players down to 2 prizes remaining. Tie game once again. Kingdra activates Spray Splash to inflict 10 damage onto the opposing Cleffa again. And there's a Pokemon reversal. Oh, that was a Tails that time. It did nothing. Oh, here we see Junk Arm. Now the player gets to discard 2 cards from their hand to get back a discarded trainer card. And they're going to be recycling the Pokemon reversal. They really want this one to go through. There's a coin flip, and it was heads that time. They're bringing up their opponent's Magnezone. Magnezone has most of the energy on the Emboar side of the field, so it looks like the player's trying to get rid of all of it with this attack. So here we see another Magnezone versus Magnezone play. A Magnetic Draw ability draws some more cards out of the deck. Second Lightning Energy comes down to the bench Magnezone. And Copycat. It's going to shuffle the player's hand away to draw, once again, equal number of cards their opponent has. There's the cards being drawn. Oh, that's a lot of cards. I think that was 9 cards drawn. Another Horsey comes down. Oh, it looks like they're going to be trying to evolve into a second Kingdra to use 2 Spray Splashes on the following turn to take a KO against Cleffa. And there's the attack, Lost Burn, to burn 3 energy, hitting Magnezone for 150 damage, and now Yanmega is down to 1 more prize. If they get their second Kingdra on the following turn, they will be able to knock out this Cleffa and win the game. Emboar uses Fisherman to get back 4 discarded basic energy cards, so 3 fires and a lightning. What are they going to do with these cards? They still have 2 prizes remaining, so even if they knock out 1 Pokemon, they might still lose the game. Oh, but they have exactly what they need, Rayquaza and Deoxys Legend. They come with an ability called Space Virus, so when they knock out a Pokemon, they take 2 prizes instead of 1. Emboar powers it up with Inferno Fandango, and there's the attack. Ozone Buster, hitting for 150 damage to take the final 2 prizes. And there's a handshake. Emboar is your winner. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players looking over their starting Pokemon. On the Flygon side, we've got Trapinch as the active Pokemon, and on the Palkia side, we've got Raichu as the active Pokemon. The Palkia side is going first, attaching a Call Energy onto Raichu, and then activating its ability to search the deck for 2 basic Pokemon to put onto their bench, and the ones chosen are going to be Bronzong and Palkia, which also then ends the player's turn. Now over to the Flygon side. The player starts off by using Roseanne's Research as her supporter, searching the deck for any combination of 2 basic Pokemon or basic energy cards, and the ones chosen are going to be Mewtwo and Uxie. So Mewtwo is going to be an important Pokemon in this matchup, as its level X form is completely immune to the attacks of basic Pokemon. So SP Pokemon cannot hit Mewtwo. A Call Energy is equipped onto Trapinch, and here we see Uxie coming down, activating its Pokepower setup, letting the player draw until they have 7 cards in hand. And now the next card played is going to be a Premier Ball, searching the deck for Mewtwo level X to add to their hand. So we might be seeing this level X form coming down as soon as the next turn. And now the player ends their turn by using Call Energy to search the deck for 2 basic Pokemon to put down onto their bench. So first we see Nidoran, and the next one is going to be a Baltoy. The Flygon side does run a lot of evolution lines, so they gotta set up a lot of Pokemon. Okay, over to the Palkia side. Mesprit comes down, activating its Pokepower Psychic Bind, locking out any Pokepowers on the opponent's side during the next turn. And the next card played is going to be Cyrus's Conspiracy, searching the deck for 3 cards. A Water Energy, a Roseanne's Research, and an SP Radar. Okay, so let's see what cards are played next. The Water Energy comes down into Palkia. Raichu retreats to promote the Palkia. And now Bronzong activates its ability to move the Call Energy into the active spot. So Palkia is able to attack with its Splashing Turn attack. Bronzong does take 20 damage, by activating its ability. And there we see an energy gain equipped onto Palkia to reduce the attack cost of both of its attacks by 1 colorless energy. And there we see the SP radar searching the deck for Palkia level X. It's going to be the main attacker of the deck. Next we see another Uxie coming down. This time for the Palkia side, drawing until they have 7 cards in hand. And there's the attack. Palkia level X can use the attacks of its base form. So it's going to be Pearl Breath, taking the KO against Trapinch and spreading 10 damage to each of the opponent's benched Pokemon. And there we go, on the second turn of the game, Palkia takes her first prize. On the Flygon side, Mewtwo comes up into the active spot. And it levels up into its level X form. It has the Pokebody Psy Barrier, like I said earlier, completely protecting it from all attacks of basic Pokemon, so this Palkia cannot hit Mewtwo. The player's looking over the attacks of Mewtwo's previous form. It does have a free attack with Energy Absorption, letting it get back a discarded energy. And there's the attack. Getting back that call energy that was discarded from Trapinch on the previous turn. So Mewtwo just needs 1 more energy to start dealing damage. Okay, over to the Palkia side, let's see what they can do. Another Mesprit comes down, using Psychic Mind again to once again lock the opponent's abilities. And there we see Palkia activating Lost Cyclone, sending 2 of its own benched Pokemon to the Lost Zone. The supporter is going to be Roseanne's Research, searching the deck for 2 cards. One's going to be a Misdreavus and Unknown G. So Misdreavus is going to be the primary way to get rid of this Mewtwo as it evolves into Mismagius, and Mewtwo is not immune to the attacks of evolved Pokemon. There's the attack, another Pearl Breath, dealing no damage to Mewtwo, though the spread damage still comes down to the benched Pokemon. Let's see what the Flygon side can do. Do we see a Pokédrawer? Actually, 2 Pokédrawers. Okay, it's going to be a really good setup for this player. If 2 Pokédrawers are played at the same time, the player can search for any 2 cards from their deck to add to their hand. And there's 2 cards being chosen. They do not have to reveal them to their opponent. Then we see a Psychic Energy coming down into Mewtwo, so it will be able to use its Giga Burn attack to take a KO against Palkia. The next card is going to be a BB Search. Searching the deck for any Pokemon to add to their hand, and the one chosen is going to be a Nidoqueen. Does the player have a rare candy to use? And yes, they do. Rare candy is going to be evolving Nidoran into Nidoqueen, activating its Pokebody Maternal Comfort to heal all Pokemon on its side between turns. And there's the attack. It's going to be the Giga Burn, discarding all the energy from Mewtwo, but also taking a 1-hit KO against Palkia. And now both sides are tied at 5 prizes remaining. Raichu comes up as a new active Pokemon, and between turns, Maternal Comfort activates from Nidoqueen, healing 10 damage from all Pokemon. Now let's see what the Palkia side can do. Another Palkia comes down, and the player activates BB Search, swapping out one of the cards from their hand for any Pokemon from the deck. And the one chosen is going to be the Mismagius. So they're going to be looking to get rid of this Mewtwo as soon as possible. An Unknown G is equipped onto the benched Mesprit. And then we see another Unknown G, this time being equipped onto Raichu, getting as many tools on their side of the field as possible. And next we see Uxie coming down, activating Setup to draw until the player has 7 cards in hand. A Call Energy is equipped onto Mismagius, and now Raichu is going to be retreating, so Mismagius can go on the offensive. And there's the attack, Crash Chant, discarding both Unknown. The attack deals 20 damage times the number of tools discarded, so it's 40 damage, and then times 2 for the weakness. So Mewtwo took 80 damage this turn. Now in between turns, Maternal Comfort heals 10 damage off all Pokemon on its side once again. And now the Flygon player activates Roseanne's Research. Here we see a Trapinch added to the hand, and a Psychic Energy. So with another Trapinch coming down, it looks like the Flygon player is going to be trying to set up their first Flygon. The Psychic Energy comes down into Nidoqueen, and Trapinch comes down onto the bench. And there's the attack from Mewtwo. It's going to be an Energy Absorption to get back 2 of the discarded energies. Though it might not be enough, as Mewtwo will probably get KO'd on the following turn. But we'll see. Okay, between turns, 10 more damage is healed off of Mewtwo, and let's see what the Palkia side can do. There we see Roseanne's Research activating, searching the deck for 2 cards, Psychic Energy and Water Energy. So the Psychic Energy will power up Mismagi's second attack now. There we see the energy coming down. And there's the attack. Horror Chant, taking the KO against Mewtwo. Oh, and also, it looks like the Flygon player overlooked the effect on Mismagi's attack, as it does send back the Nidoqueen back into the player's hand if the player had 4 or more benched Pokemon, so they might have made a mistake by benching the Trapinch on the previous turn. Speaking of Trapinch, it does evolve into Vibrava now, and the Nidoran comes back down. Does the player have another rare candy to evolve it back into Nidoqueen? It looks like they don't have it yet, but they do play a BB Search to search the deck for a Claydol, so Baltoy will also be evolving this turn. There we see Claydol coming down. A Psychic Energy comes down into Vibrava, and Claydol activates his Poke Power. Oh, but it is negated with Power Spray. There's a lock continuing, negating all the opponent's Poke Powers. Over to the Palkia side, the player activates Cyrus's Conspiracy, searching the deck for Aaron's Collection, a Water Energy, and a Poke Turn. All 3 cards are coming to the player's hand. Okay, there we see the Water Energy coming down onto Palkia, and there's the attack. Another Horror Chant, hitting Uxie for 60 damage. And now on the Flygon side, Flygon finally comes down. Claydol activates his ability again, but is once again negated with a Power Spray. It's been a lot of turns of no Poke Powers on the Flygon side. On the Palkia side, the player gives the Call Energy to Palkia, uses Poke Turn to pick up Raichu to bring down another Mesprit for another Psychic Bind, and there's the attack. Another Horror Chant, taking a 3rd KO, and that's 3 prizes taken by Palkia. Okay, Flygon finally comes into the active spot, but it doesn't have enough energy to start attacking. Oh, but all they can do is just send an Unknown into the active spot to stall for another turn. They have nothing to do. The Palkia side plays no cards, going straight for the attack. Another Horror Chant, and that's 4 prizes taken already. Let's see if the Flygon player can make any kind of comeback. They're really far behind. A Memory Berry is equipped to Flygon, and another Trapinch comes down. Claydol finally gets to use its Cosmic Power. Looks like there's no more negates left on the Palkia side. And the player finally gets an energy onto Flygon. Oh, Flygon also levels up into its level X form, and the player activates Luxury Ball, searching the deck for any Pokemon they want. And the one chosen is going to be a Vibrava. So trying to set up another Flygon as quickly as possible. And there's the attack. It's going to be Sand Wall. It only hits for 20 damage, as Mismagius is resistant to colorless Pokemon. And now in between turns, Flygon's ability activates Wind Erosion, discarding the top card of the Palkia side. Okay, an energy gain comes down to the bench Palkia, and the player also activates Aaron's Collection to get back a discarded Palkia and a Water Energy back into their hand. And there we see the attack. It's going to be Horror Chant, hitting Flygon for 40 damage, and between turns another card is discarded off the Palkia side. And now let's see what the Flygon side can do. Another Vibrava comes down, followed by another Cosmic Power to draw some more cards out of the deck. And now with access to their draw engine, Flygon looks like they're going to be making a comeback. Oh, and there we see the rare candy! So Nidoran evolves back into Nidoqueen. And the player is being careful not to bench any more Pokemon because they don't want to trigger the effect of the Horror Chant again. A third energy comes down to Flygon to power up its Power Swing attack. And there's the attack Power Swing, which hits for enough damage to take the KO against Mismagius. And Flygon finally takes their second prize. In between turns, Maternal Comfort activates, healing 10 damage off Flygon, and Wind Erosion also activates, discarding the top card of the Palkia deck. Now speaking of Palkia, it comes into the active spot, and the player activates Cyrus's Conspiracy to search the deck for SP Radar, Water Energy, and Roseanne's Research. So let's see what they can do with these cards. Okay, the next card played is going to be a Night Maintenance, getting up to 3 cards from the discard pile to shuffle back into the deck, and the ones chosen are going to be a Water Energy, a Psychic Energy, and the Palkia Level X. All 3 cards are shuffled back into the deck. And there's the SP Radar, swapping out one card from the hand for any SP Pokemon. And the one chosen is going to be the Palkia that was just shuffled back in. And there we go. Palkia Level X comes back down. There we see another Water Energy coming down onto it. And Lost Cyclone gets rid of the Uxie, sending it to the Lost Zone, to be replaced by Raichu. And there's the attack. It's going to be Hydro Shot, discarding 2 energy cards from Palkia and hitting the bench Vibrava for 80 damage for another KO, and that's 5 prizes taken by Palkia. The Wind Erosion discards another card off the Palkia deck, and now let's see what the Flygon side can do. Another Roseanne's Research, searching the deck for 2 more cards. Actually, nothing was chosen. It looks like the player opted to fail the search. And Upper Energy is equipped onto Nidoqueen. And, oh, there we see another Power Spray to negate the Cosmic Power from the Claydol. And there's the attack. It's going to be Extreme Attack. Extreme Attack can target down any level X Pokemon and hit it for 150 damage. So that is an easy one-hit KO against Palkia, and has 3 prizes taken by Flygon. Raichu comes up into the active spot. Another Palkia comes down. It gets a Water Energy. And Cyrus's Conspiracy is played. So it looks like the player's trying to find another way to get the Palkia Level X back into play, as they need the Hydro Shot to take the KO against Claydol. Cyrus's Conspiracy only searched out for 1 card. Mesprit comes into the active spot to stall for a turn. And that's going to be it. Turn passes. Another Wind Erosion discards another energy. And Maternal Comfort fully heals Flygon. No cards are played on the Flygon side, going straight for the attack Power Swing, and that's another prize taken. And it's almost a tied game now. 2 prizes to 1. Raichu comes back into the active spot. Call Energy and Energy Gain are equipped onto Palkia. And it looks like Palkia's going to be attacking. There's the attack. Pearl Breath hitting for 50 damage, and 10 damage to Claydol and Nidoqueen. Although that damage is going to be healed with the Maternal Comfort. So 10 damage comes off Flygon, down to 40. Trapinch comes down onto the bench, and a Rare Candy evolves the Trapinch straight into a Flygon. The new Flygon gets a Fighting Energy, and there's the attack. It's going to be a Power Swing, hitting for 90 damage, just 10 damage short of the KO. Another Maternal Comfort heals 10 more damage off Flygon. The bench Raichu on the Palkia side gets a Lightning Energy. And there we see the Pearl Breath. 50 more damage comes down into the active Flygon, and 10 more to all the benched ones. So it looks like the player's going to be trying to close out the game with this Raichu, stacking in as much damage as possible on the Flygon Level X to then finish it off with the Repeat Lightning attack. The Call Energy comes down onto the benched Flygon. Oh, and it looks like the active Flygon is going to be retreating. The player did see the Raichu play that the Palkia side is preparing, so they're trying to get out of it by sending in a fresh Flygon. And it does have a resistance to lightning Pokemon. There's the attack Power Swing, actually Sand Wall that time, to take the KO against Palkia, and now both sides are tie. Flygon actually managed to catch up. A Water Energy comes down into Raichu, and 2 Crobats come down, activating Flash Bites to put 20 damage onto Flygon to increase the attack power of Repeat Lightning as much as possible. But it's not going to be enough to take the KO, and it looks like that's going to be the game. So between turns, some damage is healed off by Nidoqueen. A third energy comes down into Flygon, and there's the attack, Power Swing, to take the final KO and the final prize. And there's the handshake. Flygon is your winner. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Flareon side, we've got Drifloon as the active Pokemon, and on the Rayquaza side, we've got Tynamo as the active Pokemon. The Flareon side is going first, playing Terrakion down on their bench, followed by Ultra Ball, discarding 2 Audino cards from their hand to search their deck for any one Pokemon. And the one chosen is going to be another Drifloon. So let's see if this Pokemon's going to be coming down onto the bench this turn. Okay, we also see a die coming down to keep track of how many Pokemon in their discard pile. Then we see another Ultra Ball, discarding the Drifloon that was just added to the hand, and a Trainer card. I didn't get a good look at what it was. Okay, and the next Pokemon chosen is going to be Eevee, coming down onto the bench. Here we see the die moving up to a 3, indicating that there's 3 Pokemon in the discard pile so far. This is going to be important to keep track of, as Flareon does get stronger the more Pokemon are in the discard pile. The supporter for the turn is going to be Professor Juniper, discarding the rest of the player's hand to draw 7 brand new cards. So let's see if we have any energy coming down or any more Pokemon. There we have a second Eevee coming down onto the bench. And a double colorless energy is equipped onto one of the Eevee. And that's going to be it. Turn passes over to the Rayquaza side. Let's see what they can do. Starting off with the Level Ball as their item. Searching their deck for any Pokemon with 90 HP or fewer. And the one chosen is going to be another Tynamo, this time coming down onto the bench. These Tynamo are going to be the energy accelerators once they evolve into electric. There we see an Ultra Ball discarding Raikou EX and the Lightning Energy to search their deck for any one Pokemon. And the one chosen is going to be Keldeo EX. There we go. The player's going to be equipping Float Stone onto Keldeo to give it a free retreat cost, followed by Professor Juniper to discard and draw 7 brand new cards. Let's see if they're getting any energy attachments coming down this turn. And yes, the Lightning Energy comes down to the active Tynamo, and it's immediately discarded to pay the retreat cost to promote Keldeo EX. Keldeo normally can jump into the active spot with his ability, but it looks like the player was just trying to thin down their hand to activate their Stadium Tropical Beach. And now they can end their turn by drawing until they have 7 cards in hand. And now turn passes over to the Flareon side. A third Eevee comes down to the bench. Let's see if we're going to be having any evolutions coming down this turn. The support is going to be Colress. Now the player can shuffle away their hand to draw 1 card for every bench Pokemon on both sides. It's going to be a total of 6 cards being drawn. Okay, let's see what they get out of these cards. A Fighting Energy comes down to Drifloon, and it's used to pay the retreat cost. And now Eevee is going to be coming into the active spot. Does the player have the Flareon in their hand? No, they're going straight for the attack. Signs of Evolution. Now the player can search their deck for up to 3 different Eevee Evolution Pokemon. The ones chosen are going to be Flareon, Espeon, and Leafeon. So we're going to be seeing some evolutions coming down in the following turn. Now back over to the Rayquaza side. One of the Tynamo evolves into Electric, and there's another Ultra Ball, discarding N and the Lightning Energy to search their deck for another Pokemon. This time it's going to be Rayquaza EX. It's going to be the main attacker of the deck. Next, the player activates N as her supporter. Now both sides have to shuffle away their hands. And unfortunately for the Flareon player, they have to shuffle away all those evolutions that they just got. And now each player is going to draw 6 new cards, 1 for every one of the remaining prizes. Another level ball is played by the Rayquaza player, searching their deck for a second Electric. Now they've got access to 2 Dynamotor abilities. Each one can get back a discarded lightning energy to equip onto one of their benched Pokemon. So both abilities are being activated. 2 lightning energies coming down onto Rayquaza. Rayquaza needs at least 1 fire energy as well to use its attack. Let's see if the player has it. No, they don't. A 3rd lightning energy is equipped to Rayquaza, and there's Tropical Beach to finish the turn, drawing 3 cards from the deck. Now back over to the Flareon side. Trubbish comes down to the bench. Now the player has a full bench, and they're going to be activating their own N to shuffle and draw 6 cards. It looks like they didn't get any Flareon to use. There we see the 6 cards being drawn by both sides. Let's see what the Flareon player got. Yes, the active Eevee does evolve into Flareon, and so does one of the benched ones. So we've got 2 Flareon in play. The bench Flareon gets a double colorless energy as well. Oh, and the player's choosing not to attack, opting to instead use Tropical Beach to draw some cards out of their deck, and that's going to be their turn. Now over to the Rayquaza side once again. A 3rd Tynamo comes down onto the bench. The player just needs 1 fire energy to attack with Rayquaza. And yes, they have it in hand. Keldeo is going to be retreating for free with its Float Stone to promote Rayquaza. And that will be enough for a 1-hit KO. Alright, and there's the attack, Dragon Burst. Discarding 3 lightning energy, each one hitting for 60 damage for a total of 180 damage to take an easy 1-hit KO against Flareon. And that is 1 prize taken by Rayquaza. The second Flareon comes into the active spot. Now the player's also updating their die counter to indicate that there's now 5 Pokemon cards in the discard pile, increasing the attack power of Flareon's Vengeance attack. Another Eevee comes down onto the bench, followed by another N. Now both players have to shuffle away their hands again. Flareon still gets to draw 6, but now Rayquaza only gets to draw 5, as they just finished taking a prize in the previous turn. Okay, going straight for the attack, Vengeance, hitting for 70 damage, 20 plus 10 more for every Pokemon in the discard pile. On the Rayquaza side, the player activates Level Ball to search their deck for a 3rd Electric, and now they have access to 3 Dynamotors, so they can attach up to 3 lightning energies from their discard pile every turn. Keldeo activates Rush In to jump into the active spot. And now with Rayquaza on the bench, it can be loaded up with lightning energy by the Electric. Yeah, all 3 of them activate their abilities. 3 lightning energy come back onto Rayquaza, and it's going to be enough for another 1-hit KO. The really powerful deck. And now Keldeo is going to be retreating for free again with its Float Stone. There's the attack, another Dragon Burst, once again hitting for 180 damage. And that's 2 prizes taken by Rayquaza already. And on the Flareon side, that's 7 Pokemon in the discard pile, so Vengeance can hit for 90 damage. Drifloon comes up as a new active Pokemon. And then we see Floatstone coming down to Trubbish. It just needs to evolve into Garbodor to activate its ability. One of the Eevee evolves into Flareon, and Drifloon evolves into Drifblim. Followed by the item Random Receiver. Now the player can reveal cards off the top of their deck until they reveal a supporter card to add to their hand. It's a lot of cards being revealed so far, still no supporters. Let's see what they're going to get. And there we go, finally they get Professor Juniper. And now the rest of the cards can be shuffled back into the deck. So let's see if the player's going to be activating the Professor Juniper this turn. Or if they have any more cards to play before they activate their supporter for the turn. No other cards are being played, going straight for Juniper to discard their entire hand to draw another 7 cards. I didn't see if they discarded any Pokemon though, but we'll see if they update their die counter. A Fighting Energy comes down to the Terrakion. And that's going to be it! No other cards are played. Looks like the player forgot to activate Tropical Beach. And now over on the Rayquaza side, Keldeo once again activates Rush In to jump into the active spot. 3 Dynamotors are going to load up Rayquaza with 3 Lightning Energies. And rinse and repeat, that's all they need. Oh, actually, first they have Pokemon Catcher to drag their Flareon into the active spot, so it's going to be getting KO'd before it even gets a chance to attack. There's another Dragon Burst, taking another one-hit KO. That's 3 prizes taken, while Flareon has taken none. Okay, now there's 9 Pokemon in the discard pile for Flareon. Its Vengeance attack can hit for 110 damage, but they need Flareon and a double colorless energy. A Trubbish comes into the active spot. Eevee gets a double colorless energy, now it just needs to evolve. There's another N. Again, both players shuffle. Flareon gets to draw 6. Rayquaza now draws only 3. Let's see if the player got either Flareon or the Garbodor to shut off the electric abilities. A Trubbish is going to be retreating to promote Eevee. So that tells me they must have gotten the Flareon. And yes, they did. Flareon comes into the active spot. Another Trubbish is put down on the bench. There's the attack, Vengeance. Hitting for 110 damage, which is going to be enough for the KO, finally. And Flareon takes 2 prizes for knocking out an EX Pokemon. Keldeo comes into the active spot. And the player activates Super Rod, searching their discard pile for a Fire Energy, Rayquaza, and Raikou to shuffle back into the deck. The player just needs to find a way to get Rayquaza back into the bench to power it up with Electric. They receive Professor Juniper to discard their hand and draw 7 brand new cards. Let's see if they got the Rayquaza. Not yet, but they do have Raikou EX. And Electric is going to be powering up Raikou. It's 3 Lightning Energies coming down. It's going to be enough to use its Volt Bolt attack. And that's going to be the play. Keldeo retreats to promote Raikou. And next, the player activates Ultra Ball, discarding 2 cards from their hand to search their deck for any one Pokemon. Choosing Rayquaza. Right, there we go. The player's just making room for the Rayquaza on the bench. Getting it ready to attack on a future turn. There's the attack. It's going to be Volt Bolt, discarding all 3 Lightning Energy, but they can hit any Pokemon on the opponent's side for 100 damage, targeting down the bench Trubbish with the tool attached to it to take another KO. So they're anticipating that their opponent might have a Garbodor waiting in hand. A Computer Search is activated for the Flareon side, discarding Espeon and a Tropical Beach, it looked like, to search their deck for any one card. So let's see what they're going to be getting. And there's a mystery card being chosen. And it is going to be Garbodor. It just needs a tool to activate its ability. And it looks like it got it, I can't really tell. The player's making some space. Yes, they got a Float Stone equipped onto Garbodor. And now that it has a tool attached, it can activate its ability, Garbotoxin, which negates all other abilities in play, meaning that Electric can no longer activate Dynamotor. Followed by another N. Now Flareon gets to draw 4 cards, while Rayquaza only draws 2. Things are not looking good for Rayquaza now. Without access to their energy accelerators, Rayquaza cannot attack. A second Fighting Energy comes down onto the bench Terrakion, just getting it ready to use its Retaliate attack, just in case a Pokemon gets KO'd. There's the attack. Vengeance hitting for 120 damage. On the Rayquaza side, Fire Energy comes down to Rayquaza, followed by another Professor Juniper. So they got lucky with their draw. Discarding their hand to draw 7 new cards. Let's see what they get. Pokemon Catcher is activated to choose the Drifblim to drag into the active spot. So it looks like the player's just trying to stall out the game for a couple of turns to give themselves an opportunity to get back into it. Tropical Beach is activated to draw 1 card and turn passes. Oh, and the player on the Flareon side can do nothing. They didn't have any way to get this Drifloon out of the active spot, so they activate Tropical Beach and end their turn as well. Back on the Flareon side, sorry, on the Rayquaza side, the Lightning Energy comes onto the bench Rayquaza, and that's going to be it. No other cards are played. Back over to Flareon again. Mr. Mime comes down. Mr. Mime has the bench barrier ability to protect bench Pokemon on this side of the field, though it is negated right now because of the Garbodor. Colress is played again to shuffle away the player's hand to draw 1 card for every benched Pokemon on both sides, which is going to be a total of 9 cards. It's going to be a huge hand. Let's see if they get what they need. Okay, there we see a double colorless energy coming down to Drifblim to retreat it. And now Flareon comes back into the active spot. There's the attack, Vengeance, once again, to take the KO against Raikou. And that's going to be another 2 prizes taken. So both sides are now tied at 2 prizes remaining apiece. Keldeo comes up as a new active Pokemon. And Rayquaza gets a second Fire Energy. Okay, Keldeo's going to be retreating to promote Rayquaza. And now Rayquaza can take the KO against Flareon. Oh, but first they're going to be using Pokemon Catcher to bring up the Garbodor. So they're going to be knocking out this Garbodor so they can finally have access to their abilities again. There's the attack, Dragon Burst, discarding both Fire Energy to hit for 120 damage. And it's another KO. Rayquaza's down to just 1 more prize. They just got to take 1 more KO on the following turn to win the game, and with access to 3 Electric, they might have a chance. Oh, but first the player activates Random Receiver. Oh, and they got Professor Juniper right away. Flareon just needs 3 Pokemon in the discard pile to win the game. Let's see if they have them. Professor Juniper discards 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's more than enough. With 6 more Pokemon in the discard pile, Flareon can take the 1-hit KO. There's the attack, Vengeance, taking the KO against Rayquaza to take the final 2 prizes. And there's the handshake. Flareon is your winner. And here we go, the battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Steelix side, we've got Onix as the active Pokemon with the Chansey on the bench, and on the Magnezone side, we've got Magnemite as the active Pokemon. The Magnezone side is going first, playing Azelf to the bench to activate its Pokepower Time Walk, looking at the face-down prize card to choose 1 Pokemon found there to add to the hand, in exchange for another card from the hand. And the one chosen is going to be Claydol, and it's going to be the turn. And now over to the Steelix side, the player starts off by using Engineer's Adjustments, discarding a Metal Energy, to draw 4 cards from the deck. So let's see what they get out of these new cards. Another Onix comes down onto the bench, followed by double colorless energy coming down to the active one. Still not enough energy to attack though, so that's going to be the turn. Back over to the Magnezone side now. The player activates Roseanne's Research as her supporter, searching their deck for up to 2 basic energy cards or basic Pokemon to add to their hand. So there we've got a Spiritomb and a Baltoy, both of them coming down onto the bench. Both of them are going to be really good support Pokemon as the game goes on. The next card is going to be Pokemon Communication, swapping out the Claydol from the hand for any Pokemon from the deck. And now it's going to be a second Magnemite, this one coming down onto the bench. Magnemite also has a held item called Magnet, giving it a free retreat cost for every Magnemite on the bench. Okay, so the active one retreats for free to promote Spiritomb. It now activates its Pokebody Keystone Seal to prevent both players from using their trainer cards. And there's the attack, Darkness Grace. It's a free attack, letting the player evolve one of their benched Pokemon. So Baltoy evolves into Claydol. And now Spiritomb does take 10 damage for using that attack. And now back over to the Steelix side. Let's see what they can do. The bench Chansey evolved into Blissey now, followed by Professor Oak's new theory, letting the player shuffle away their entire hand to draw 6 brand new cards. There's the cards being drawn. Let's see if we get any evolutions coming down for this side. They need to get down to Steelix as soon as possible. Yeah, and speaking of which, there it is. It's going to be the main attacker of this deck. It also gets a special Metal Energy card to shield it from 10 damage from opposing Pokemon attacks. And there's Energy Stream, hitting for 30 damage, and also gets back the discarded Metal Energy to attach to itself. It does need 1 more to start using its second attack on the following turn. And now we're on the Magnezone side. Let's see what the player can do. There's Claydol activating its Pokepower, Cosmic Power, putting up to 2 cards from the hand to the bottom of the deck, and now the player can draw until they have 6 cards in hand. It's a really powerful drawing ability in this format. A Chansey comes down onto the bench, followed by a supporter Judge, forcing both players to shuffle away their hands to draw 4 cards apiece. So A really good piece of disruption. There's the cards being drawn. Do they have any energy cards to attach? Okay, one of the Magnemites evolves into Magneton, and yes, there's lightning energy coming down onto Magneton. Followed by another Darkness Grace, this time to evolve. It's going to be Chansey evolving into Blissey. Now both sides have Blissey to heal their Pokemon. Spiritomb takes another 10 damage, it's down to its final 10 HP remaining. So it's going to be getting KO'd. Back to the Steelix side. Steelix gets another Metal Energy card, so it's fully powered up to use Gaia Crush. And there's another Professor Oak's new theory, once again shuffling and drawing 6 brand new cards. And with that, that should be the first KO of the game. There's Gaia Crush, dealing 100 damage to take the first prize, so Steelix is off to the early lead, 5 prizes to 6. Azelf comes up as the new active Pokemon for the Magnezone side, and there's Cosmic Power, putting some more cards to the bottom of the deck and drawing until the player has 6 cards in hand. Another Lightning Energy comes down into Magneton, followed by Pokemon Communication, swapping out Spiritomb from the hand for any Pokemon. And now it's going to be Magnezone. Here we go. It's going to be the main attacker of this deck. It does need one more energy, though, to start attacking. And now the support is going to be BB Search, swapping out any card from the player's hand for any Pokemon from the deck. And now it's going to be Magnezone level X. It can only be leveled up if it's in the active spot, though, so the player cannot use it yet. And that's going to be it. Azelf is stuck in the active spot, and now back over to the Steelix side. They're going to be taking their second KO. A double colorless energy comes down onto the benched Onix. And Gaia Crush hits for 100 damage, taking the second prize. So Magnezone is already down 2 prizes, and they haven't even dealt any damage yet. Okay, Magnezone comes into the active spot now. And it levels up into Magnezone level X. Magnezone level X gets a Metal Energy card to fully power it up. And the player activates Roseanne's Research, searching your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards or basic Pokemon once again. So we're going to be getting a Lightning Energy and a Spiritomb. And Magnezone, as a level X Pokemon, also has access to the attacks and abilities of its previous form. Okay, so Spiritomb comes down. Claydol activates his ability again to draw some more cards out of the deck. And let's see what the player gets now. Unknown Q comes down to activate its ability. It equips itself onto Spiritomb to give it a free retreat cost. And now the player activates Luxury Ball to search their deck for any non-level X Pokemon, and the one chosen is going to be Magneton to evolve the benched Magnemite. And finally, there's the attack. It's going to be Gyro Ball. It does 60 damage, minus 20 for both of the Special Metal Energy cards on Steelix, so total of 40 damage. And now both players have to swap out their active Pokemon. So it's going to be Spiritomb and Onix now. And once again, because Spiritomb is in the active spot, neither player can use her trainer cards. Okay, let's see what Steelix can do. First off, Blissey activates his ability Nurse Call, discarding a Call Energy from the hand to heal 20 damage off of Steelix. And there's the supporter, Judge. Once again, shuffling both players' decks. Sorry, their hands into their decks, and then drawing 4 cards apiece. Oh, and they got the Steelix. Alright, so another Steelix comes into play and hits with Energy Stream. 30 damage onto Spiritomb, and Steelix gets back a discarded energy card. And it's going to be the Call Energy. It does need 2 Metal Energies, though, to use Gaia Crush. Okay, now over to the Magnezone side. Lightning Energy comes over to the Magneton and the bench. And Spiritomb is going to be retreating for free to promote Magnezone. Another Pokemon Communication is activated, swapping out a Magnezone from the hand for a different kind of Magnezone, to evolve the benched Magneton. So we've got 2 Magnezone in play already. There's Claydol's ability, putting some cards to the bottom of the deck. And the player draws 5 cards. A really good draw ability, followed by a Supporter Pokemon Collector. Now the player can search their deck for up to 3 basic Pokemon to add to their hand. So there we've got a Magnemite, a second Magnemite, and Uxie. But there's only enough space on the bench for just one of these Pokemon, though. Okay, no Pokemon are coming down. The player's going to go straight for the attack. It's going to be Gyro Ball once again. This time it hits for 60 damage, as there's no Metal Energy on Steelix to shield it. And also the player opts not to swap out their active Pokemon, so both Steelix and Magnezone remain in the active spot. Okay, the player activates Moo Moo Milk. They're going to be flipping 2 coins, and let's see how many heads they get. Just 1. That's going to be healing 30 damage off of the active Steelix. Okay. So down to 30 damage on it. And there's Nurse Call, discarding a card from the hand. It's going to be the Metal Energy to heal another 20 damage off the active Steelix. Next, the player activates Luxury Ball to search their deck for any Pokemon they want. And the one chosen is going to be the Uxie. Probably going to be using it to draw some more cards out of the deck. Hopefully they draw into a Metal Energy card. Okay, there's the setup. The player can draw until they have 7 cards in hand. Another really powerful drawing ability in this format. And yes, they did get the special Metal Energy card coming down into the active Steelix. Still not enough to use Gaia Crush though, but they're getting there. And there's the attack Energy Stream. It hits for 20 damage that time, as Magnezone also has a special Metal Energy card. Steelix gets back the basic Metal Energy, so it's fully powered up. And now back over to the Magnezone side. There's another BB Search being activated, swapping out a card from the player's hand for Magnezone. And that's going to be the 3rd Magnezone, if the player can evolve up to it. Okay, there's Magnemite coming down onto the bench. Oh, and the player has a rare candy. Yes, they can evolve straight into Magnezone immediately. But this new Magnezone isn't, I guess, as useful as the other two because it doesn't have any Poke Powers or abilities, but it does have a stronger attack in Metallic Bolt. Okay, the active Magnezone level X activated its Energy Trance ability to move an energy away from itself onto the benched one, and it also got a second Metal Energy. Blissey activates Nurse Call to heal 20 damage off of Magnezone level X, followed by Claydol to activate Cosmic Power again. So the Magnezone side has already got their full setup. Oh, and the player's also going to be giving it an Expert Belt to give it a 20 HP boost and a 20 attack power boost. And there's the attack, Cyber Shock, hitting for 90 damage total. And it would normally also automatically paralyze the opposing Pokemon, but Steelix cannot be paralyzed because of its Pokebody Perfect Metal. And now over on the Steelix side, the player activates Moo Moo Milk, but they get both tails, so it does nothing. Do they have any other healing cards to use? Okay, first an Onix comes down onto the bench. It gets a double colorless energy. Looks like the player's trying to build up a 3rd Steelix on their side. And there's Volkner's Philosophy as her supporter, discarding a card from the hand to draw until the player has 6 cards in hand. And let's see what they get. Okay, there's the Nurse Call, discarding another card to heal 20 damage off the bench Steelix. So it looks like the active one is going to be getting KO'd. They're just going to be giving it up. But first, it's going to be hitting with Gaia Crush, hitting for 90 damage. So Magnezone level X is pretty close to being KO'd. Okay, first Blissey heals 20 damage off of it with Nurse Call. And now it gets a Lightning Energy, followed by using its ability Electric Trance to move a Lightning Energy off the benched Magnezone onto itself to fully power up its Gyro Ball attack. And there we have the Cosmic Power once again. Just a really consistent poke power. So it doesn't matter what the opponent does to disrupt your hand, you can always keep drawing back up to 6 every turn. Yeah, and there's the Gyro Ball hitting for 70 damage, sorry. That's going to be enough to take the KO. And Magnezone also swaps out to promote Spiritomb. And Magnezone has finally taken their first prize of the game. Okay, once again with Spiritomb in the active spot, the Steelix player cannot use any trainer cards. Okay, actually no cards are played at all. They go straight for the Gaia Crush to take the KO against Spiritomb, and that is 3 prizes taken. Magnezone is still behind by 2 prizes. Okay, Magnezone level X comes back into the active spot now. And what else can the player do? Okay, first Nurse Call heals 20 damage off of Magnezone. Lightning Energy comes down to the benched one. And another Spiritomb comes down onto the bench. So it looks like the strategy is going to be another Gyro Ball to switch into Spiritomb to lock the opponent's trainer cards. Yes, there's a Gyro Ball. Hits for 60 damage. So Magnezone and Steelix switch out for Spiritomb and... what's it going to be? It's going to be Uxie this time. So the Steelix player just needs to have 1 energy in hand to pay the retreat cost on this Uxie. Do they have it? Okay, first Blissey activates his ability, healing 20 damage off Steelix. Blissey is putting in a lot of work for both players in this game. And actually, no, they did not have the energy card, so Uxie is stuck in the active spot. Both of the benched Magnezone activate their abilities, Super Connectivity, to attach a discarded Lightning and Metal Energy onto the active Spiritomb. It does take 20 damage, though, but now the Magnezone level X can move that energy around with its Electric Trans ability. So 1 Lightning Energy comes down to the benched Magnezone, and the Metal one comes down onto the third Magnezone. And next, the energy attached from the hand is going to be a Warp Energy to get Spiritomb out of the active spot to promote Magnezone. And it gets an Expert Belt, so it's 2 Expert Belts so far. There's Blissey once again, healing another 20 damage off Magnezone. It's healed 60 damage off of it, I believe. So putting in a lot of work. And there's the Gyro Ball. Taking a 1-hit KO against Uxie. Magnezone swaps back out into Spiritomb, and that is 2 prizes taken already, so Magnezone is making a comeback. Steelix comes back up. Once again, it is trainer locked, but first is going to be healing 20 damage off itself using Blissey's ability. No other cards are played. There's the Gaia Crush. 4 prizes taken already. So Steelix is still in a pretty good spot right now. They just got to take 2 more KOs to win this game, or they just have to take a KO against either one of these Magnezone with an Expert Belt, as Expert Belt gives up 2 prizes when their Pokemon is knocked out. Okay, the third Magnezone gets a Lightning Energy attached to it. And now Blissey activates his ability once again. So now Magnezone level X is down to just 10 damage on it. And there's the Gyro Ball, hitting for another 60 damage. There's no Spiritomb anymore, so the Steelix side is not going to be trainer locked. Okay, it's going to be a new Magnezone coming into the active spot. And Blissey. It looks like the player does not want to give up this Onix. Okay, there's Life Herb. The player has to flip a coin, and it is going to be... Oh, it's Tails! Life Herb does nothing. Okay, but the player has a second Life Herb. They get another chance. Let's see what they get this time. Okay, and it's going to be heads that time, finally. It's going to be healing 60 damage off any Pokemon, so 60 damage off the bench Steelix. And Blissey should take care of the final 20 damage. Yeah, there's the Nurse Call, discarding another card from the hand. And now Steelix is fully refreshed. It's got no damage on it whatsoever. But Blissey is stuck in the active spot. Okay, over to the Magnezone side. One of the Magnezone activates Super Connectivity, attaching a Lightning Energy onto the active one. It takes 10 damage. And now Electric Trance moves another lightning energy onto the active one, so it is fully powered up to use its second attack. Okay, no other cards are played. There's the attack, Metallic Bolt. Discards both the metal energy and the lightning energy to boost its attack power to 120, taking a one-hit KO against Blissey. And that is 3 prizes taken by Magnezone. And now Steelix comes back up. It doesn't have access to its Blissey healing, though. So hopefully it can continue using its item cards to heal itself. Okay, there's Professor Oak to draw 6 new cards. Let's see what they get. Did they get their third Steelix, finally? Not yet, but they do have a Call Energy to put down onto the Onix. There's the attack, Gaia Crush, hitting for 90 damage. Sorry, 80 damage. Magnezone is resistant to Metal-type Pokemon. Magnezone level X gets second Metal Energy attached to itself. And now there's the Super Connectivity, getting back another discarded Metal Energy onto the active Pokemon. And now it's up to 100 damage. There's Electric Trance, moving the Metal Energy away from the active Magnezone to the benched one. And there's Warp Point. Okay, so both Pokemon have to swap out of the active spot. And now it's going to be Onix versus Magnezone level X. And it looks like this Onix is going to be getting one-hit KO'd by the Cyber Shock attack, as it is boosted by the Expert Belt to hit for 100 damage. Okay, but first there we see another Super Connectivity getting back another Lightning Energy. That is a ton of energy on the active Pokemon. And next, Blissey heals that damage away with Nurse Call. So now Magnezone is fully refreshed as well. Followed by Judge. So they're trying to take away as many resources as they can from the Steelix side before they go into their turn. So Onix will be getting KO'd, and Steelix will start off with the 4-card hand. And there's the attack. It's going to be Cyber Shock, discarding a Metal Energy and a Lightning Energy to hit for 100 damage to take the one-hit KO. And now both sides are finally tied, 2 prizes apiece. Let's see what the Steelix side can do. Okay, now Steelix is going to be getting an Expert Belt. The player's going all out on it to give it an extra HP boost and attack boost. There's the supporter, Volkner's Philosophy, drawing some more cards out of the deck. And there's the attack. It's going to be Gaia Crush, hitting for 100 damage. Magnezone level X is really close to being KO'd. Okay, let's see what the Magnezone side can do now. Metal Energy comes down to the benched Magnezone. And then it activates Electric Trance, moving Lightning Energy onto the bench one as well. Oh, it looks like the player's down to their final 3 cards in their deck. They're almost ready to deck out. They use Claydol to put some more cards into the deck, and they're going to be drawing... Okay, they drew 3 cards, so what would have been their final 3 cards. And they got Night Maintenance. Night Maintenance searches their discard pile for 2 Spiritomb, 3 Spiritomb. Okay, so they're going to be shuffling all 3 Spiritomb back into the deck. They're trying to set up their end game to finish this game as quickly as possible. There's the supporter, Roseanne's Research, searching the deck for 2 of the Spiritomb that were just shuffled back in. They're going to be trying to Trainer Lock this Steelix so it cannot heal itself on the following turn. Yeah, there's the Spiritomb coming down onto the bench. And there's the attack. It's going to be Gyro Ball, hitting for 60 damage. Magnezone switches out to promote Spiritomb, and Steelix cannot switch out as it does not have any bench Pokemon on its side. So it is stuck in the active spot, and because Spiritomb is up, it cannot heal itself with any trainer cards either. Okay, all it can do is attack with Gaia Crush to take 1 more prize, but that might be the game, as this final Magnezone could close out the game with its Metallic Bolt. Yeah, there it is, Metallic Bolt, discarding 2 energy cards to hit for 100 damage to take the final KO, and the final 2 prizes. And there's the handshake! Magnezone level X is your winner! And here we go, the battle has started with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Moltres side, we've got Moltres as the active Pokemon, and on the Wigglytuff side, we've got Magmar as the active Pokemon with the Jigglypuff on the bench. The Moltres side is going first, playing a Lickitung down to the bench, and attaching a Fire Energy to the active Moltres. And there's the attack Wildfire, discarding the Fire Energy off of Moltres, and discarding the top card of the opponent's deck, which was a Lass. And now it's important to note that the Moltres deck does not win by drawing all of its prizes, instead by decking out the opponent through the use of Moltres' Wildfire, and by stalling out with Pokemon like Lickitung and Chansey. Okay, over to the Wigglytuff side, the player attaches a Fire Energy to Magmar, and they also bench a second Jigglypuff, and there's the attack, Smokescreen, hitting Moltres for 10 damage, and now Moltres will have to flip a coin and get heads if they want to attack on the following turn. On the Moltres side, the player activates Energy Removal to get rid of the Fire Energy off of Magmar, and another energy comes onto Moltres. There's the attack, another Wildfire. They do have to flip a coin. There it is, and it is heads. The attack does go through. Moltres discards its energy and gets rid of the top card of the opponent's deck, which is a Professor Oak that time. Okay, turn passes back over to the Wigglytuff side now. Another Fire Energy comes down into Magmar. No other cards are played, and there's the attack, Smokescreen, hitting for another 10 damage. Moltres has taken 20 damage so far. Now let's see what Moltres can do. Energy Retrieval is activated, discarding a card from the hand to get back 2 Fire Energies. And now Moltres can continue with attacks. Yep, there's the energy coming down again. No other cards are played. There's the attack declared. Wildfire gets another heads, so discarding the third card of the opponent's deck with that attack. It was a Fire Energy that time. A double colorless energy comes down onto one of the bench Jigglypuff, and there's the attack. Smokescreen, that's 30 damage on Moltres so far. A second Lickitung comes down to the Moltres side, and the player activates Pokemon Center to completely heal Moltres. There's another Fire Energy coming down onto it, followed by Professor Oak. Now the player gets to discard their entire hand to draw 7 brand new cards. Professor Oak is the predecessor to the current format, Professor's Research, but it's not a supporter in this format, so you can play as many as you want per turn. No other cards are played. There's the attack Wildfire, and it's another heads. 3 heads in a row. This time they discard a Scyther off the top of the opponent's deck. Over to the Wigglytuff side, Wigglytuff finally comes down into play, and the player activates Energy Retrieval, discarding a card from her hand to get back 2 discarded Fire Energies. One of the Fire Energies comes down into Wigglytuff, and now Magmar is going to be paying the retreat cost to promote Wigglytuff. It's going to be the main attacker of this deck. There's the plus power, actually 2 plus powers coming down into Wigglytuff, boosting its attack power by 20, and the player activates their own Professor Oak to discard their hand and draw 7 cards. The player does have to be careful not to draw too many cards, or else they might make themselves deck out faster. Okay, 2 more Pokemon coming down to the bench, another Jigglypuff and a Scyther, and now Do the Wave can take a 1-hit KO against Moltres, and Wigglytuff takes their first prize. So it's going to be a race this game. Let's see if Wigglytuff can take all their prizes before Moltres burns away their entire deck. Okay, Lickitung comes up as a new active Pokemon for the Moltres side. It gets a Fire Energy, and the player activates Super Energy Removal to get rid of both of Wigglytuff's energy cards. And there's the attack. Actually, wait, no, there's no attack. Never mind. I forgot Lickitung does not have any energy. On the Wigglytuff side, the player quickly attaches the Fire Energy onto Wigglytuff and attacks with Lullaby, putting Lickitung to sleep. Though in between turns, the coin flip is heads, so Lickitung does wake up. Moltres just draws and passes, no cards are played. On the Wigglytuff side, Wigglytuff gets a second Fire Energy, and once again puts Lickitung to sleep with Lullaby. And Lickitung wakes up once again. Okay, over to the Moltres side once more. Let's see what they can do. Still no cards played. They have no energy to attach onto this Lickitung. Wigglytuff gets their third energy, and now they can finally attack with Do the Wave, hitting for 50 damage. So Lickitung is within KO range on the following turn. The player puts Chansey down to their bench and activates Scoop Up to pick up Lickitung, getting it out of the active spot to promote Chansey now. Chansey has 120 HP, so hopefully it can last a little longer. Over to the Wigglytuff side, the player puts down their 4th Jigglypuff, and there's the attack, Do the Wave, hitting for 60 damage. So Chansey is now within KO range on the following turn, but it does get a Psychic Energy. Oh, okay, there we go. Super Energy Removal, getting rid of the Psychic Energy, and also 2 of Wigglytuff's Fire Energy, so Wigglytuff cannot use Do the Wave on the following turn, unless the player has a double colorless energy. Nope, they only had a Fire Energy. There's the attack, Lullaby, putting Chansey to sleep. There's a coin flip, and it is Tails this time. Chansey does not wake up. Yeah, and that's going to be pretty much the way this game is played. The Moltres side only has to stall out the Wigglytuff side, so they're going to be using attacks to paralyze the opponent so they can't attack, or just milling their deck with Moltres' attack. And they can also use Energy Removal and Super Energy Removal to prevent Wigglytuff from attacking as well. A lot of stall options in this format. Okay, on the Wigglytuff side, they got 2 Fire Energies back. And that's going to be it. Lullaby cannot be used as Chansey is already asleep, and between turns, Chansey remains asleep. Does not wake up with the coin flip. And, wow, a lot of back and forth. Moltres did nothing, passing their turn. Chansey remains asleep, and Wigglytuff finally gets their double colorless energy. There's the attack, Do the Wave, to take the KO against Chansey. That is 2 prizes taken by Wigglytuff. Okay, one of the 2 Lickitung comes up into the active spot now. The 3rd Lickitung comes back into the bench. And there's a Trainer Energy Retrieval, getting back 2 discarded Fire Energies, and now Lickitung can use its first attack. No, not yet. First we get an Item Finder, discarding 2 cards from the hand, getting back a discarded Trainer card, and it's going to be the Super Energy Removal. Once again, getting rid of all of Wigglytuff's energy cards. Yeah, there's the Fire Energy coming down onto Lickitung. There's Super Energy Removal, discarding the energy off Lickitung to pay the cost. And Wigglytuff loses all of its energy. Okay, turn passes now. Fire Energy comes down to Wigglytuff. There's Lullaby, putting Lickitung to sleep. Let's see if it wakes up between turns, and it does not. It's a Tails on the coin flip. A full heal wakes up the Lickitung. So now it can attack. Yep, there's the energy. And there we see another Professor Oak. Drawing another 7 cards out of the deck. The Moltres side also has to be careful not to deck itself out first. There's the attack. Tongue Wrap, hitting for 10 damage. And the coin flip is Tails. So Wigglytuff is not paralyzed. A second Fire Energy comes down into Wigglytuff. There's the attack. Lullaby. Once again, putting Lickitung to sleep. Let's see if it wakes up. The coin flip is heads, so Lickitung will be able to attack on the following turn. Yeah, just get ready for a lot of this back and forth. Gonna be seeing a lot of Lickitung attacks this game. There's an Item Finder, getting the Super Energy Removal back. Using Super Energy Removal to get rid of all of Wigglytuff's energies again. I've lost count how many energies have been discarded off this Wigglytuff so far. It's been a lot. There's a Tongue Wrap. There's a coin flip, and it is heads that time. So Wigglytuff is paralyzed. Paralysis is probably the strongest status condition you can inflict on an opponent. They can't attack, though it does only last for a single turn. Here, the energy removal gets back 2 energies for the Wigglytuff side. Wigglytuff gets a Fire Energy, and the player passes their turn. Back over to the Lickitung side. Sorry, the Moltres side. Might as well be the Lickitung deck. Energy removal gets rid of the energy off of Wigglytuff, and there's the attack. It is Tails that time, but still deals 10 damage onto Wigglytuff. Fire Energy onto Wigglytuff now. Lullaby, putting Lickitung to sleep. Does it wake up? It does not. Lickitung will not be able to attack on this turn, unless the player has another full heal. But no, they don't. They immediately pass their turn, and Lickitung remains asleep. And now Wigglytuff plays their own energy removal, getting rid of the Lickitung's Fire Energy. Wigglytuff gets a second energy, and that's going to be it. Lickitung still does not wake up. 3 tails in a row. And no cards are played for the Moltres side. Turn passes, and Lickitung finally wakes up. Over the Wigglytuff side, the player attaches a double colorless energy now. Wigglytuff has more than enough energy to attack, and there it is. Do the Wave, hitting for 60 damage. Let's see if the player has another Pokemon Center or a Scoop Up to heal this Lickitung. There we see another Moltres coming down, a Fire Energy coming down to Lickitung. There's the attack Tongue Wrap hitting for 10 damage, and it is Tails. Wigglytuff is not paralyzed again. There's the attack. Do the wave. Lickitung is KO'd. That's 3 prizes taken by Wigglytuff so far. And now Moltres comes into the active spot. Moltres will be able to continue destroying the opponent's deck with its Wildfire attack. Yep, there it is, Wildfire. Discarding an energy removal that time. On the Wigglytuff side, the player activates Computer Search, discarding 2 cards from their hand to search their deck for any 1 card. So there's a card chosen. They don't have to reveal to their opponent what it is. So I'm guessing it might be a plus power to take a 1-hit KO against this Moltres. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Plus power. Boosting the Do the Wave damage output to 70 to take the 1-hit KO against Moltres. And now Wigglytuff has taken 4 prizes already. They just gotta take 2 more KOs to win this game. Lickitung attacks with Tongue Wrap. No paralysis inflicted, and on the Wigglytuff side, there's the attack Do the Wave. It's hard to tell how many cards are left in the Wigglytuff's deck so far. Okay, Pokemon Center completely heals the Lickitung. And now the player activates Energy Removal to get rid of the double colorless energy off of the Wigglytuff. Followed by Energy Retrieval to get back 2 of their discarded Fire energies. And now Lickitung will be able to attack. The player is hoping to inflict paralysis on this Wigglytuff to prevent it from attacking. Yep, there's the attack. And it is heads that time. Wigglytuff is going to be paralyzed. It cannot attack on this turn. Okay, the player activates their own Energy Retrieval, getting back 2 of their own discarded energy cards. And now Wigglytuff is actually pretty close to being KO'd. It's down to just 20 more HP, so it is possible that this Lickitung can knock it out. Okay, Moltres plays no cards. They attack with Tongue Wrap, and yes, Wigglytuff is paralyzed again, down to just 10 more HP. Wigglytuff gets a 4th energy that time, okay. Oh, but there it is. The player activates Super Potion. They have to discard an energy card to activate it, which is why they attached a 4th energy onto Wigglytuff. So now Wigglytuff has 50 HP remaining because of that card. Moltres puts a Scyther on their bench, and there's the attack Tongue Wrap. Another heads. Looks like the luck is on their side for now. They've got 3 heads in a row. The player activates Energy Removal on Lickitung to get rid of its energy. And back over to the Moltres side. There's another Fire energy. Moltres has a lot of energy. Okay, Tongue Wrap finally hits Tails, so Wigglytuff is not paralyzed now. A second Jigglypuff finally evolves into another Wigglytuff, and that second Wigglytuff gets its own Fire energy, and there's the attack. Do the Wave, hitting for 60 damage. Over to the Moltres side, the player activates Computer Search, discarding 2 cards from their own hand to search their deck for any card that they want. Okay, there's their chosen card. Don't know what it might be. The player needs to keep using these Moltres to continue burning away their opponent's deck. So let's see if it is a Moltres in the following turn. Okay, Tongue Wrap paralyzes Wigglytuff. Down to just 20 more HP. The second Wigglytuff gets another Fire energy. That's going to be it. Let's see if Lickitung can take a KO against this Wigglytuff. Yeah, it looks like it can. Another paralysis on Wigglytuff. It can't attack. It's down to just 10 more HP. The player activates Energy Retrieval again, getting another 2 energies back into their hand. It's a shame that this card does not work on special energy cards, otherwise they could have gotten their double colorless energy. But I guess that could have been too broken in this format. Okay, there we see another Fire energy coming down to the benched Wigglytuff, and that's going to be it. So this active Wigglytuff is going to be KO'd by a Lickitung of all things. Yeah, there's the attack Tongue Wrap. They don't have to flip a coin anymore, as the KO is guaranteed, and Moltres takes their first prize. Once again, Moltres is not hoping to draw all their prize cards, they're just hoping to mill out their opponent's deck. Okay, another Scyther comes down to the bench, and the first Scyther gets a Fire energy. There's the attack Do the Wave, taking the KO against Lickitung. And now Wigglytuff is down to their final prize. They're just going to take one more prize to win this game, but it looks like their deck is pretty thin now. Okay, Scyther comes into the active spot, and Moltres comes down. Moltres promoted to the active spot next. There's the Fire Energy. And yes, there's a Wildfire burning away a card, which is a Magmar that time. And let's see, it looks like the Wigglytuff side is down to just 2, maybe 3 more cards in their deck. It's hard to tell. Okay, a double colorless energy was put into Scyther, and there's your attack. Do the wave. Moltres is down to just 10 HP. Oh, but the player has a scoop up, picking up the Moltres to completely heal it. And now, yep, there's Scyther coming to the active spot. It does have their free retreat cost. And now Scyther can retreat to promote Moltres once again. But first the player activates Energy Retrieval, getting back 2 fire energies to fuel Moltres' Wildfire attack. Followed by Item Finder to get back a discarded trainer card, which is a Super Energy Removal. Okay, Fire Energy comes down to the Scyther first. Super Energy Removal gets rid of the energy of Scyther, and 2 energies off of Wigglytuff. They're hoping to stall out by preventing Wigglytuff from attacking, as it is the strongest attacker in the field right now. Okay, Fire Energy comes down to Wigglytuff. Oh, but the player's using it to pay the retreat cost to promote Scyther now. Now Scyther attacks with Slash. Hits for 30 damage, not quite as strong as Wigglytuff. Okay. On the Moltres side, Moltres comes back into the active spot. And the player gives it Fire Energy. There's the Wildfire attack, burning a card off the opponent's deck. And, oh, it looks like that was it! Wigglytuff is out of cards. Oh, but they have a Last in their hand. With Last, they can shuffle all their trainer cards from their hand back into their deck. And it looks like they had 3. So this Last is buying the Wigglytuff player at least 3 more turns. Sorry, at most 3 more turns, as Moltres can continue burning these cards away. Slash hits Moltres for 30 damage. Moltres gets a Fire Energy. Yep, there's a Wildfire burning away one of the player's cards. There's 2 cards left in deck. They drew 1. They have 1 card left in deck, and there's the attack. Slash hitting Moltres for 30 damage. Moltres is down to just 10 HP. If the player has a Fire Energy in hand, they can win. Oh, but they don't! They reveal their hand to their opponent. They just have a Mr. Mime and an Energy Removal. They can't attack with Wildfire. So Slash takes the KO to take the final prize, and there's the handshake. Wigglytuff is your winner. And here we go. The battle has started, with both players flipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Magma side, we've got Zangoose as the active Pokemon with the Groudon on the bench. And on the Aqua side, we've got Kyogre as the active Pokemon with an Electrike on the bench. The Magma side is going first, attaching a Fighting Energy onto Zangoose and activating Team Magma Ball. The player flips a coin and it comes up tails, so they can only search out a basic Pokemon from their deck, and the one chosen is going to be a Baltoy, which comes down onto the bench. And there's the attack, Call for Family, searching their deck for another basic Pokemon to put onto their bench, and this time it's going to be a Numel. Alright, there we go. That was the first turn for the Magma side. Let's see what the Aqua side can do. Alright, the player starts off with their supporter, Team Aqua Conspirator, searching their deck for up to 2 basic energy cards or basic Pokemon. So there we got a Water Energy and a second Water Energy. 2 energies coming into the hand. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing one of these attached to one of these Pokemon this turn. Yep, there it is. Water Energy coming down to the active Kyogre. And also important to note that both Kyogre and Groudon have a Pokebody called Power Saver, which prevents them from attacking if they have fewer than 4 Pokemon of their respective teams. So Kyogre needs 4 Team Aqua Pokemon to attack, while Groudon needs 4 Team Magma Pokemon to attack. Yeah, Team Aqua Ball was played to search their deck for another Kyogre to put onto the bench, and that's going to be it. Back over to the Magma side, the player activates TV Reporter, drawing 3 cards from the deck, and then discarding 1 card from their hand. Okay, we didn't get to see what they discarded though. Alright, the Baltoy evolves into Claydol, and a second Groudon comes down onto the bench, while the first Groudon gets a Darkness Energy attachment. There's the attack, Call for Family, searching their deck for their final basic Pokemon to put down, and it's going to be a third Groudon. Now they've got a full bench already on their second turn of the game. Turn passes back over to the Aqua side, and let's see what they can do. The player activates Archie as their supporter, searching their deck for any Team Aqua Pokemon to put onto their bench. And the one chosen is going to be a Lantern. Through the effect of Archie, the Pokemon does not have to be a basic Pokemon, as Lantern is a Stage 1. It does not need to evolve. The manual attachment is going to be a second water energy coming down to Kyogre, and there's the attack. Aqua Trip. It does 10 damage, and now Zangoose is confused. Turn passes back over to the Magma side. The player activates Steven's Advice to draw 4 cards, 1 for each Pokemon on the opposing side. Next, the player activates Desert Ruins as their stadium, which essentially does nothing in this matchup. Numel evolves into Camerupt, and now Zangoose is going to be retreating, discarding the fighting energy to promote Groudon. Camerupt activates its Poke Power Overheat to get back a discarded energy to attach onto itself. It does take 20 damage for activating the ability, though. And now Claydol activates its own Poke Power Magma Shift to move the energy away from Camerupt onto Groudon. And now the manual attachment is going to be a Team Magma energy also coming down to Groudon. And there's the attack, Pulverize, hitting for 60 damage. At the end of the turn, the Team Magma energy is discarded. And now we're to the Aqua side. The player activates another Team Aqua Conspirator, searching their deck for another 2 cards. Another Water Energy, and a Cacnea this time. Once Cacnea evolves into Cacturn, it will be able to hit the opposing Groudon for weakness. There's Cacnea coming down onto the bench. And a Darkness energy comes down onto the Cacnea. Next, Lantern activates its Poke Power Auxiliary Light, accelerating water energy from the hand onto itself. It does take 20 damage for activating the ability, though. And there's the attack. Aqua Trip hitting Groudon for 10 damage, and now Groudon is confused. Okay, turn passes back over to the Magma side. Camera activates its ability once again, Overheat, attaching discarded energy onto itself. It takes another 20 damage. And now Claydol moves the energy away from Camerupt onto Groudon. Groudon is fully powered up, but it is confused. So it's got a 50-50 shot of attacking Kyogre, or attacking itself. And there's a coin flip. Oh, but it was Tails! Groudon does hit itself through confusion. And now over to the Aqua side. Cacnea evolves into Cacturn now, and Electrike evolves into Manectric. Manectric activates its ability, Power Shift, moving the energy away from Lantern onto Kyogre now. Kyogre is now fully powered up to use its second attack. But first, the player activates Copycat to shuffle away their hand and draw 4 cards, the same amount as their opponent. Alright, there's the 4 cards being drawn. Let's see if they get any more Pokemon to put down. Not yet, but they do get a Water Energy to put down into the benched Kyogre, and there's the attack. Aqua Smash to take the first KO against Groudon. And Team Aqua is ahead in the prize race, 5-6 so far. Zangoose comes into the active spot for the Magma side, and the player activates Team Magma Ball. There's a coin flip, and it is Tails once again. They can only search out a basic Pokemon. Okay, there's the 4th Groudon of the deck coming down. But they don't have any energy in play to attack yet. A Copycat is activated. The Team Aqua side also has 4 cards in play. So the Magma side shuffles away their hand to draw 4 cards. Let's see if they get any energies. Yes, a Darkness energy comes down into one of the Groudon. And now Camerupt activates Overheat, getting back a discarded fighting energy. And Claydol moves the fighting energy away from Camerupt onto Groudon. A really good energy acceleration engine. And that's going to be it. No attack comes through from the Magma side. Back over to the Aqua side. Manectric activates Power Shift. Moves a water energy away from the active Kyogre to the benched Kyogre. And now a lightning energy comes down to the active one. So the player is trying to preserve as many of their water energies as possible. And there's the attack. Aqua Smash hitting Zangoose for 50 damage. The Magma side activates Team Magma Conspirator, searching their deck for a fighting energy and a second fighting energy. Okay, so now the player's going to be having enough energy for the Groudon to attack, but Zangoose is going to be stuck in the active spot. Yeah, there's a second fighting energy coming down to Groudon. And that's it. Still no attack coming through from the Magma side. Okay, the Cacturn gets a lightning energy attached onto itself. And now Manectric activates Power Shift once again, moving a water energy away from the active Kyogre back down to the benched one. There's another Team Aqua Ball. The coin flip is Tails. They can only search their deck for basic Pokemon. It's going to be the third Kyogre coming down. Now both sides have a full bench. But the advantage is definitely on the Team Aqua side. There's the attack. Aqua Trip to take the KO against Zangoose, and that is 2 prizes taken so far by the Team Aqua side, while Team Magma has barely been dealing any damage. Okay, Groudon has come up for the Team Magma side, and then they activate Steven's Advice to draw 6 cards out of the deck. They need some good cards to get back into this game. A Rainbow Energy comes down to the Camerupt. It does take 10 damage though, so it's down to 10 HP. And there's the attack, Pulverize, to take the KO against Kyogre, and Team Magma finally takes their first prize, but they're still behind by 1. Team Aqua promotes their Cacturn, and let's see what they can do. The player activates Team Aqua Conspirator to search their deck for 2 more cards. A Grass Energy, and the second Grass Energy. Okay, that's going to be enough to power up this Cacturn. It just needs 1. Okay, there's a Grass Energy coming down to the Cacturn. And there's the attack, Poison Barb. It takes a 1-hit KO against Groudon because of the weakness, and that is 3 prizes taken already. Okay, over to the Magma side, the player promotes their Camerupt, and Camerupt gets a Team Magma energy. It provides 2 energy at once, so Camerupt will be able to take the KO against Cacturn, as it will be hitting for weakness. Okay, but first the Team Magma Conspirator search their deck for a Psychic Energy and a Fighting Energy to add to the hand. There's the attack, Flame Ball, hitting for 100 damage for the KO, and it also moves a Rainbow Energy away from Camerupt onto Groudon to preserve it. And that's 2 prizes taken by the Team Magma side. Kyogre comes into the active spot now. It is fully powered up. The player activates another Archie, searching their deck for another Team Aqua Pokemon to put onto their bench, and it's going to be a second Cacturn now. The player's going to be using it to get rid of another Groudon later in the game. The Cacturn gets Grass Energy now, and there's the attack. Aqua Smash, taking the KO against Camerupt, and that's 4 prizes taken by the Team Aqua side. They are 2 prizes ahead of Team Magma. Groudon comes up into the active spot now, and the Team Magma side activates Maxi. Similar to Archie, but instead of searching the deck for a Pokemon, they can search their discard pile, so they bring back their Camerupt. Camerupt brings back discarded energy. And now Claydol moves the energy onto Groudon. Groudon just needs 1 energy to be fully powered up. Yep, there it is. Groudon can now use its Pulverize attack. A Zangoose comes down to the bench, and there's the attack Pulverize, hitting Kyogre for 50 damage now. Kyogre is within KO range. Okay, over to the Aqua side. Another Team Aqua Ball. Comes up Tails. That's a lot of Tails. The player searches out their final Kyogre to put down onto the bench. And let's see what else they can do. Team Aqua Conspirator is going to be the next card. Searching the deck for a Water Energy. And another Water Energy. Okay, they're going to be preparing for another Kyogre to start attacking. Or possibly the Cacturn. Okay, a Water Energy comes down to one of the benched Kyogre, and there's the attack. It's going to be Aqua Smash, hitting Groudon for 50 damage. TV Reporter is activated by the Magma side, drawing 3 cards and discarding 1. And now the player activates Switch to get Groudon out of the active spot to preserve it for a future turn. The player then promotes Zangoose as their new active Pokemon. And now Claydol activates the ability to move 1 fighting energy from Groudon onto Zangoose. Zangoose then gets Team Magma energy to fully powered up. And now it's going to be able to use its Team Play attack. Camerupt activates his own ability to get back fighting energy from the discard pile, and another Zangoose comes down to the bench. There's the attack, team play, hitting for 60 damage to take the KO against Kyogre, and that's 3 prizes taken by the Team Magma side. Okay, another Kyogre comes into the active spot, gets a second water energy, and the player activates Copycat. And oh, that is a lot of cards on the Team Magma side. So Team Aqua is going to be drawing a lot as well. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, 10 card hand. I'm sure they got something really good out of this. Okay, Lantern activates Auxiliary Light to accelerate water energy onto itself. And now Manectric moves that energy away from Lantern onto Kyogre. There's the attack. Aqua Smash, hitting Zangoose for 50 damage. Team Magma side activates Pokemon Reversal. Oh, but they flip Tails, it does nothing. Okay, there's a second Pokemon Reversal, and it is... Oh, it's another Tails! 2 Tails in a row. Pokemon Reversal does nothing. Next, the player activates Copycat to shuffle away their hand. And once again, the player is going to be able to draw a lot of cards because of their opponent. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards that time. Let's see what they got. And now they activate a third Pokemon Reversal. And it is finally Heads that time. They choose their opponent's Lantern to bring it to the active spot. Lantern has taken 40 damage through the use of its own ability. And now Claydol moves the energy away from Camerupt onto one of the Groudon. Zangoose is going to be retreating to promote this new Groudon to take the KO against Lantern. But first, Camerupt activates the ability again. Takes another 20 damage, but now it has a fighting energy for itself. And there's the attack, Pulverize, taking the KO against Lantern. And now both sides are tied at 2 prizes remaining apiece. Team Magma has finally caught up. Okay, Cacturn comes into the active spot. It just needs 2 more energy to take the KO against Groudon. Oh, actually no, it needs a Darkness energy to take the KO. As Darkness energy does boost its attack power by 10, which then gets doubled because of weakness. Okay, a Team Aqua Ball is activated, searching the deck for a Chinchou to put onto the bench. And next, the player activates Professor Oak's Research to shuffle away their hand and then draw 5 cards. It looks like the player's digging through their deck for their Darkness energy, as they will enable this Pokemon to take the one-hit KO against Groudon. Manectric activates Power Shift, moving 2 water energy away from Kyogre onto Cacturn. It looks like the player did not get the Darkness energy. A second water energy comes down to the bench Kyogre, and there's the attack, Poison Barb. It only hits for 80 damage, and also inflicts poison. Poison damage happens between turns, and now Groudon is down to 10 HP remaining. Okay, Claydol activates his ability, moving the energy away from Groudon onto the benched Camerupt. And now the player activates, oh, Mr. Briney's Compassion to pick up the Kyogre back into, the Groudon into the hand to fully heal it and get rid of the poison. Camerupt comes into the active spot, gets a Rainbow Energy, and now it can take the one-hit KO against Cacturn with its Flame Ball attack. Yeah, there it is. Flame Ball moves the Rainbow Energy away from Camerupt onto Groudon, and now finally Team Magma is in the lead. They just need to take one more KO to win the game. Okay, Kyogre comes into the active spot, and the player activates their next Professor Oak's Research, shuffling away their hand to draw 5. Okay, there's the cards being drawn. Camerupt is down to 10 HP, so even Kyogre's first attack can take the KO. Chinchou evolves into Lantern, and there's a Lightning Energy coming down onto the active Kyogre. There's the attack. Aqua Smash to take the KO against Camerupt. Both sides are tied at 1 prize remaining, but it looks like the Team Magma side has the advantage, as they can attack first into this Kyogre and really put the pressure on it. Team Magma Conspirator search the deck for 2 fighting energies. So that will be enough to fully power up this Groudon. Yep, there's 1 energy coming down to Groudon. And now Claydol moves another energy from the benched Groudon onto the active one. There's the attack, Pulverize, hitting for 50 damage. And yeah, Kyogre is just one attack away from being KO'd. On the Aqua side, let's see what they can do. Manectric activates Power Shift to move all the energy off of the active Kyogre to the benched one now. Oh, and they activate their own, Mr. Briney's Compassion, to pick up the active Kyogre to get it out of KO range and promote their benched one now. And now the Team Aqua side has the advantage. There's the attack, Aqua Smash, hitting Groudon for 50 damage. And just like that, Team Aqua turned the tables around. But another Mr. Briney's Compassion picks up the damaged Groudon to promote Zangoose now. Groudon comes back down, fully refreshed. Claydol moves a Rainbow Energy from the damaged Groudon onto the fully healed one, and it also gets a Fighting Energy. But unfortunately, Zangoose is now stuck in the active spot. The player has to pass. Okay, Team Aqua plays no cards to just go straight for the attack. Aqua Smash hitting Zangoose for 50 damage. They have to get out of the active spot, or it will be getting KO'd. Another Fighting Energy comes down to the benched Groudon, and the player activates Maxi, searching their discard pile for Camerupt. Once again, Camerupt will be able to get the energy to get Zangoose out of the active spot. Yeah, there's the Overheat. And there's the Magma Shift, moving the energy from Camerupt onto Zangoose. Zangoose uses the energy to pay the retreat cost. And now Groudon comes back up. There's a lot of back and forth going between these two Pokemon. There's the attack, Pulverize. Groudon and Kyogre do not want to lose this game. They just keep going back and forth. Alright. Pressure's on Team Aqua now. Let's see what they can do. And a switch this time! Getting Kyogre out of the active spot once again to promote the fully healed one. And, yep, there's the Power Shift, moving all the energy from the benched one to the active one. And wow, this has been a lot of back and forth between both of these Pokemon. Neither one wants to give in. Both sides really want this victory. There's the attack, Aqua Smash. Pressure is on Team Magma. Can they get this Groudon out of the active spot? Oh no, they can't! All they can do is just attack for 50 damage, but yep, there's a final attack, Aqua Smash, to take the final KO and the final prize, and there's the handshake. Team Aqua's Kyogre is your winner. So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. And once again, a big shout out and thank you to Jeremy Evans for providing the Team Aqua deck list. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.